Well, today we have some friends with us and we will talk about the game in general. And today's show will be hosted by Indes. And in a second, we can start now.
Welcome everyone to the first, maybe only, who knows, only if this goes well, ImmortalCast. Today we are joined here by, I'm a big fan of these two. So whenever they said yes to the invitation to this, I was, like a fanboy. So we have Abu that you already know. We have Aurat, the god also of DPS builds, and you have me, a nerd that just plays Barbarian. So today is going to be a very exciting round table. We're going to start from the new update. We're going to go to the Vanguard. We're going to go to the new legendary gems, the Tower Alliance, and then we're going to go for a small portion of a small Q&A where we're going to get like maximum of 3 questions. And then after, we're going to go into the class tier list, the tier list that everyone is going to expect us to go and rank. What is the S tier? What is the F tier? We all know what is the F tier, no? But after that, we have the current state of PvP and some personal questions about like where we want the quality of life to change, what do we want to change in the game before we go into more chill long session of Q&A here on the stream. And these boys, this is gonna be fun. So get your belt seat or the seat belt or whatever, and let's start. So please make your presentations. Orat, go for it.
Hello guys, I am Oroth and yeah, I've been playing Diablo Immortal since launch and I started making some content around a year ago. And from the beginning, my main class was Necromancer, but nowadays I try to play all the different classes. I would probably say that my three main classes is Necromancer, Demon Hunter, and Crusader. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to do this live stream with you guys, and hopefully we're gonna have some fun along the way.
Then
Well,
we're gonna have Abu.
hey guys, welcome to stream. Today we have a different opening than usual. We have some fellow content creators for our game. Like I said at the beginning, Indes will be running the show, so... Oh, and I'm Habo, by the way. I I do content
We
for a
know,
while
we know,
now.
we know, Chad. We know, we all know it, right? So, well, I'm probably the new kid in the block, right? My name is Indes. I do a lot of cool shit, and I play video games. So that's pretty much it. So, going for the first topic, new update. How did you guys feel? How you guys feel about this update, man?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah, well,
Art.
I have to say that the update itself is a little bit underwhelming because it was supposed to be a major update, but it feels like maybe we expected a little bit more. But yeah, maybe there's some potential in some of these new game modes. What I have to say though, I've been asking for some more difficult PvE content, and it looks like Vanguard can provide that somehow.
Yeah.
But we'll also have to wait and see because maybe if we get a really high ranked charm, maybe it will be super easy. So it's a little bit too early to tell.
Yeah, I think personally it will be hard for the first like 2 3 weeks, right? And then like we're just gonna out level the PvE content, and that's pretty much like the pattern that we have is like we are always locked by not our skill. It is always like combat rating or some other stats that we are enabled to go and go beyond our limits. But I feel that Vanguard is definitely a better approach than, for example, what we have on raids. That even if you have a lower deep charm, you can still go with your reso or combat rating and still finding very very interesting builds and ways like literally Barbarian is breaking the whole thing. But for the classes that they actually don't have like a self-sustain, they are using the 6 Vitos set, which is like very creative. And probably the first time I saw people using that. And even though it could have been a better patch, I think the game mode might have potential to grow. But definitely I feel like the biggest thing is the lack of rewards. I don't know. What about you, Abu?
Well, I think I like this game overall, PvE plus PvP, but I mainly play for PvP, so whenever I see an update without any touches on PvP side of the game, it's a kind of lame update for me. But I like Vanguard. It's good for, I guess, those
Yeah,
extra FXs.
Well,
what
it's
I
better
don't
than
understand
OpenSense.
is like it feels like whenever they release something cool, there's always a very limited cap. So now, for example, we could do like 5 buffed runs, and
Yeah.
then we received some legendary items and some charms. And after we had done that, then there was almost no rewards whatsoever. And usually, when they release a new update, you want to grind the new content. You want to play for hours and hours to try it out and try different tactics. So I feel like I don't know, maybe going forward there can be some kind of cap, but when they release new content, maybe they should raise the cap significantly for the first 2 weeks or something like this
Yeah, you get
to let people
excited
play it.
for the mode, then you play it 5 times, then it is capped. Like, at least make the cap 24 hours something. Even that is low. Yeah, like you said, first week, while it's hyped, let us run wild in that mode. Why not?
And
I don't.
also, I mean, it has some potential, the game mode for sure, but it feels like whenever there's a new release, there's always something that's not working because now it was supposed to reset this buffed runs every Thursday, but it didn't happen.
No,
So hopefully that was just an
it,
error, but
or
it would
it's,
be
it
nice
was
if it worked.
intentional. It was intentional. It's an intentional bug, man.
Okay,
You
okay.
don't understand. You don't
No,
understand. Like
I don't
you
understand
don't.
it.
It's all planned, man. So, but okay, let's. We are focusing on the Vanguard. How would you rate like 1 to 10, like the game mode? Like I can go first. For me, I'll say that it's probably like a 6 or a 7. I like the game mode. I just wish, like you said, there was not a lot of limitations so we can have fun. Because why do we play games? To have fun. If it is no fun, like why are we even playing it, right? And I feel like these limitations definitely don't let us have fun. For example, I was thinking in the World of Warcraft, for example, whenever a mythic raid is launched, like the new raid, is like people are super excited and it's like super hard. So people are like trying to kill the boss, and then yeah, maybe they didn't, cannot kill, and then they nerf it a bit. But for like those first few days of the patch, it is so exciting to see people trying to smack their heads to try to figure out the boss. And I think that's the kind of lacked here.
Yeah, what I
Yeah.
have to say is that uh, we don't really know yet all of the affixes that we can get either from the items. So it's a little bit too early to tell like how important the Vanguard will be in terms of getting the proper items to do certain builds. But once again, we have a different kind of affix now. We already have like eternal affixes. Now we have Vanguard affixes. We also have these abyssal verge affixes, and of course the classical affixes. And this becomes more and more like complex. But I guess yeah, with class change and everything as well, and the stash. But I guess we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, yeah.
What changes we want to see in the game.
So from 1 to 10, how much is it for you right
Uh,
now?
Well, I enjoy it now while it's difficult, so I rated a 7. But I'm very concerned because I have a rank 7 charm, and the one guy in my group had a rank 11 charm, and the charms can go up to rank 20. And this
Mm.
indicates if I'm able to complete level 4 already, these charms are super, super strong. So probably it will be very easy when everybody has like a rank 12 or rank 13 charm. And that's my worry a little bit. But we will have to wait and see. So there's some potential.
Yeah. What about
I'm
you?
I'm assuming they're gonna add new difficulties. If that's the case, I can give it like 8, not 8, 7.5, let's say. But
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's gonna go up like challenge rifts or something like that.
Th-
Otherwise, like it's gonna be cakewalk, no meaning.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually is interesting. If they keep, for example, whenever we are, which I think they won't, okay, just, but I wish, imagine when we're like at level 15 charm, they add like a new difficulty, or like every month we get a new difficulty, or maybe a charm reset every season. I don't know. Like they have to do something to keep the mode exciting. Otherwise, like we're gonna end up like raids. Like the first time you see the boss, yeah, it's cool. Like the new dragon, the snake, the ice, like it's cool. Like it is a cool fight, but like you just reach there, and if you have the combat rating, you face roll it. So a lot of potential, but then it becomes like okay, I'm just here for the loot. Okay, can we do this faster, please?
Yeah, I think in every PvE mode, there should be like hardcore button that you click and you actually fight. That
Yeah.
would solve
100%.
all of the
100%.
PvE easiness and shit like that.
Do you think that, for example, removing the reso out of the, for example, when you click on that hardcore mode,
Hmm.
right? Do you think you go into the raid without your reso, or like with some kind of a nerf that will make you like less powerful or more equal? You think that will be
Yeah,
a
actually,
good
when
thing?
I think about the hardcore mode, I was thinking more like, oh, the monsters are stronger, blah blah. But just removing the resonance and maybe like touching on the monsters a little bit can solve that issue pretty easily. And there can be extra rewards, so everyone can benefit from those extra stuff. Maybe.
Yes, but we also have to remember that if they introduce a hardcore mode, it should be hardcore. So I remember when we had Gauntlet 3, the first Gauntlet 3,
Ooh,
it
that
was
was
it was very difficult to complete,
yeah,
and maybe there was only a few teams on every server that could do it. But that was not only because you needed high resonance, it was because you actually had to really focus on getting the correct team composition. You had to like focus on every little detail in your build. And of course, if you didn't do that, you would not make it. So people also has to be prepared that if there's a hardcore mode, it has to be hardcore. So not all people will make it.
yeah. No,
Oh,
I
But maybe we
100% agree.
wait,
Uh,
we forgot something. We forgot mention Crane.
Oh,
Uh,
of course. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's my fault. That's on me, boys. I was not gonna be the only barbarian here. I was gonna be also together with our friend in a big content creator for barbarians, Crane Plays. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here today. Some private issue, and hopefully he's gonna be on the next time. So we are here filling his massive barbarian boots, and hopefully we're gonna do a good job. So a big shout out to Crane. I hope he solves it, and see you on the next one. So moving on to the next topic.
May,
Uh,
may I just
which
add
is
one last thing?
okay.
Now it's quite difficult to complete the higher levels of Vanguard, and maybe we should just give a little bit of tips what you can focus on. And I would say that in Vanguard, the main issue is not damage output right now; it's survivability.
Yep.
And what I noticed is that if you put in some survivability into your builds, you will be able to perform a little bit better. So, for example, you can try to use the Battle Guard legendary gem. It worked very well for me. Because when I switched this in, I had a lot higher survivability. You could also use the Survivor Paragon, which helps to just keep you alive if you manage to die once. And you can also look at the magical attributes of your items because there are a lot of them that reduces your damage from nearby enemies or that reduces damage taken while you are moving. And if you're able to find some of those and equip those and keep moving around, then you will survive a lot easier. So that's just some basic tips if you're struggling right now.
Yeah. And a lot of people are, and it is a good thing. Okay, chat. It is a good thing. You should struggle on this game from time to time. Okay, in 3-4 weeks, you're gonna be able to clear the content. Please don't go to Reddit to cry because it's hard. Like we should have some challenging content, and I didn't even remember like the Gauntlet 3, which is like a great example of content that should be in the game, and not all the content should be for every player. Like again, I'm gonna mention you WoW because I'm an ex-WoW player, but you had the mythic guilds, and then you had like the arena rank 1 titles that you had the mountain. Not everyone has that. And yes, we have the immortal title, the wings, and these things that they are cool, but that's not content. That's like cosmetics. That's like a part of a cycle of a mechanic. So coming from a MMO, I kind of I kind of would like to a bit more challenge, and that's it. So, Abu, you want to say anything before we go to the next topic?
no, I think we said enough about that.
Because this one, I think you're gonna lead because you're the man himself with the Neo Legendary Gem, right?
I
Uh,
have one, yeah.
the Wolf the gem, right? So I don't know how to spell that gem. I call it the Legendary Wolf Gem. So, what do you think about it?
Well, I'm still not sure if it triggers grace or not. Are you guys
Mm.
sure about that? Or what do you know? Did you test it?
I have tested it, but I've not been able to do any
Too many
conclusions.
numbers, man. Too many
The
numbers.
problem is I opened 200 crests
Uh,
because I wanted to try out the new gem, and of
Ah,
course I didn't get a single
just
drop.
200.
So I just did the trial version, but I have some insights that I can share.
Go for
Uh,
it.
yeah, first of all, there was an important addition that was I don't think it was mentioned in the patch notes, and that is that it's an internal cooldown of this effect on 0.3 seconds.
yeah,
And this I don't think was mentioned in the patch notes. So of course, before that it looked even stronger.
they
But yeah,
added that later on, the
yeah,
0.3 thing. Before the release, it was added, but I think at the first release, it wasn't mentioned, I think, because they were still like adjusting it for the release.
Mm.
yeah, and it's maybe a good thing that they did that because the effect actually triggers from all types of damage. So based on the testing I did, at
Okay.
least it works with the summons, and that's quite unusual. Like for example, Grace does not work with summons, but yeah, and also I would say that it's probably more of a PvP gem because I tried it out in PvE and it was decent, but I don't think it makes the cut for at least the top DPS builds, I would say.
Yeah, personally, I only saw the video because free to play player struggles. But Abu also said that I could have tried the trial. I completely forgot about it. I don't like to tip my toe on the like sweets, into these pay to win things. Otherwise, I might be okay. Let me swipe my credit card. So I try to avoid. But when I look at the gem, I was like, man, this for PvP. For my build, I play with dots, bro. This will be so broken. And like the first thing I came to my mind was like Grace set with the gem. I couldn't like I tried to slow motion like Abu's video to try to see if like the Grace was proccing the Wolf and the Wolf was proccing the Grace because like they are both like with 5 hits. Uh, but I couldn't because like it's just like too many numbers. Abu just does too much damage, man.
I
It's
guess the best way to try it would be to use only summons with no dots because the summons doesn't trigger Grace,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then you can see if the Grace will ever trigger. Then we know that the new gem will work with
Mm,
Grace. But I've not done this yet myself. But that's
that,
a way to test it if anyone wants to try it.
that's why you're
Uh,
the goat.
but I also have to say that the rank one effect is very strong because
Yeah,
uh, in that we will look see as well on the other gems because often there are some effects that are equally strong at rank one compared to rank 10. So
yeah,
one good thing with this gem is that you will like deal a lot of extra ticks fast, and the ticks themselves are important. So it doesn't matter if the ticks of damage are super high. So I believe that you could put this into another gem as an aux and try it out in PvP, especially. And I think it could work fine.
yeah.
So
Actually, I'm using it as an auxiliary right now in my echoing shades. In PvP, it looks fine. Normally, I was using while playing Tempest, I was using Gloomcast as a auxiliary, and I think the new one performed quite better than Gloomcast as an auxiliary rank one. It looked like that. I don't have the numbers, but yeah.
I
we
think
also
like tell
yeah.
me, go for it.
Yeah, what I wanted to add was that we also have this other effect that buffs the attack speed. And at lower ranks, it's not that strong, I think. But if you manage to get it a little bit higher, and you have one in your party who has a high ranked Wulfheort, or however it's pronounced,
Yeah.
I think that effect can be a little bit overlooked because that can be very strong. If we compare it with Bottled Hope, for example, usually if you can get 12% attack speed buff, it's often a little bit stronger than like 16% damage buff from Bottled Hope or something like this.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes open for that effect as well.
Yeah, just put it to rank 10. That's all you guys need to do. Like, no, but actually, you had a good point because when I read the gem, I thought like, okay, this is gonna be the attack speed Bottle Hope version, and I was thinking, okay, maybe Port PvE could be a good gem, But and I completely ignored the damage side, and now that I see the gem like in the live server, the damage like the ticks. And I said to Abu, I said, bro, it's time to go to Blood Knight summons again. And for you, go to Demon Hunter summons. I feel like it is a perfect gem for like to add on the dot build. What do you guys think?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah,
And
just
dots, I mean, dots are already that strong in PvP, so it fits perfectly into the current strongest legendary gem meta in
Yeah.
PvP.
Yeah, even if it is not triggering those counting for grace ticks, still it's a quick
Yeah.
DPS output.
Yeah.
But
But
for like
it is
if you
just
are
a coincidence.
yeah, like if you are not playing, let's say we don't usually choose gems just for specific builds because it's hard to change them, blah blah. And overall, why what would you say? Is it better than Void, for example? I think like maybe it is closer to Void, but in between, I guess I would pick Void.
Uh,
Depending
I
on not depending on the build overall. Like let's say I'm changing classes all the time, playing with different stuff.
I feel like, for example, Void is really good for the melee class because you're gonna be next to the targets. And but I'm not sure if you're a demon hunter, like a summoned demon hunter or blood knight demon
Yeah, if you
summons.
are too distanced, yeah.
If you are too distant, maybe the wolf is gonna be better in if you're playing summons. So
For sure. I have to say that this gem is not a must-have. When they released Royal in Consequence, for example, it was like
yeah,
wow because it was
Yeah.
super strong both for PvE and for PvP, or maybe more for PvE, but still. But I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's a good gem to invest in if you want to, but you don't have to.
yeah.
I mean, if you just can get a rank 1 and put it in as an auxiliary, it will be good enough if you want to try it out, I think.
So let's move on from the Wolf Gem 5-star. Let's talk about for the the 2-star and the 1-star. I can just say, man, that 1-star is juicy. It is juicy. If you're a free to play player who's just starting the game, it is, in my opinion, Berserker Eye and Entropic or something like that.
Yeah. Entropic
Just
Wells or
yeah,
something.
get these two gems 100%. They are extremely good. You're not gonna regret. And for the 2-star, I feel it is made for the Frost Wizard, and it is gonna be very annoying in PvP.
Yeah, should we go through the 2-star first or the 1-star?
Yeah, we
Because
can go
I
with the
have
two
some.
star and then the go for the 1-star.
Okay, but I have to say with the 2-star, it's a very interesting gem. I did some testing with it, and it counts as skill damage. So if you have any magical attribute with skill damage, it will increase the damage done by this pillar.
Oh.
But what's also interesting is that it works with Fire Banner, which should only be triggered from primary attacks. So there are some inconsistencies here. Uh, but what's
Oh, so
also
I see what you're trying to do with your. Okay, that
yeah,
I won't spoil. I won't spoil chat, but I can just say that Aura has something. Just go to his channel, subscribe, and you guys will see sooner or later like something juicy.
yeah, I have something very interesting coming up with Crusader, but it has nothing to do with the new 2-star gem. But what I just wanted to add lastly is that if you think about it, in PvP, there are many gems like Starfire Shard or Storm Vault that like triggers further away within the enemy spawn. And those are 5-star gems. But this is a 2-star gem with a similar effect.
Mhm.
Because if you attack someone and you apply a dot effect, the pillar will be triggered from dot effects. So if you attack someone and they are falling back,
And
maybe
they
into
go
their
to the
spawn,
base, and then the pillar goes. Oh,
exactly.
oh my
So if
god.
you're playing a dot build, and then
Ooh.
someone retreats, this pillar will spawn, and it will also help to spread the dots among the enemies in the spawn. And even if the pillar dies quite quickly, it has already done its job because it will spread the dots. And also, what's good to mention here is that if the pillar is spawning close to you, this pillar has a lot of HP. So if you are fighting against, let's say that you are fighting against a demon hunter, and if the pillar is closer than you are and he plays the strafe build, he will only attack the pillar instead of you. So it will help to mitigate a lot of damage as well and add some survivability.
Mm.
And we can't forget the debuffs either because it gives 35% movement speed decrease and attack speed decrease. And this is also huge. And this you get the full value at rank 1 already. So once again, at rank 1, it has a cool effect. So put it as an auxiliary gem in one of your other 2-star gems and try it out.
Yeah. I may try it actually. After you kind of sold me out on that. What about you, Abu? I mean, we all know that you only use 5 stars, but is
No,
there a
come on.
chance? Is there a chance that you can downgrade a bit here to play with the normies?
No, I played with 2 stars for a long time. But yeah, Orote explained it pretty well. When I first read the patch notes, the first thing came into my mind was like it can be your pocket tank, like Orote said. like to protect you from like constant damage. Well, I didn't try it yet, but if it is working that way, on top of being able to like spawn further away from you, then yeah, it's gonna be cool 2-star. Maybe. Well, Aro, did you try it in PvP already, or just?
Yeah, I tried it in PvP, and I have to say that the survivability is very good. It stays alive, especially if it's only against one or two opponents. It almost stays up for the whole duration.
Oh.
So I was a little bit surprised by that, but that's a good thing.
I
Um,
already saw it today. Like I did three BGs in the morning, and I was trying to go down the stairs, and there were like two pillars. So it was fun, as you guys can imagine. Uh,
have to add though that I think it's a little bit problematic because if we take battlegrounds now, for example, there is these choke points, right?
yeah,
And sometimes it's quite difficult to get out of these choke points, and some games becomes quite boring because of that. And this is another element that will make it even harder. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if it's a good gem, but I don't know if I like that they introduced it the way they did.
we need a
yeah,
new map. That's all.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, but I'm thinking because right now you all know that wizard can be a problem, right? Especially if you're a melee. Even if you're not a melee, like the range of like those balls and that wind, it is just massive. You know, like if you're on a choke point, like you can pass until that's gone. But now that you say that with the dots, anyone can have a skill that can create that effect, and that's what happened because the team that I was going against to, like I think they only had the one wizard, and yet there was like almost all the time like these two pillars at the entrance. So someone else probably was the wizard and someone else that was using this gem, and it was quite difficult to actually go get out of it. You know?
there could be one easy fix to this. If you think about it, if you play as offense, there are many skills that you can't put outside of the defensive barrier. So the defending team, they can put a lot of stuff onto the barrier, but it's not possible for us to put anything outside of the barrier. So they should change that so that you could put out your summons outside, that you could throw out your skills outside, because that way it would be a lot easier to break out of these choke
Yeah.
points and begin the game. So that's something they should add, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And even if you go out and put them, and if you go back, it spawns back to the door, right?
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
summons goes back.
Yeah, if imagine you go, you try to go through the choke, like to the
Yeah,
stairs,
yeah, yeah.
and then you're like, oh, okay, and then you come back to the base, and then you just spawn like inside the base, right? Like that's what I got from it. So well, I feel like it is a very strong PvP gem. I don't know about PvE, but I, I think like we are in a good path to have like it's an interesting gem. I will say that. I feel like the 5-star is interesting, and I feel like this one also with these pillar, the IC pillar is interesting. And well, what about the 1-star?
1-star
OP.
is Berserker 2.0 with
Yeah,
skill damage, obviously. Otherwise, like, I guess it works with, let's say you are playing Tempest or Strafe Demon Hunter. I crafted the gem to rank 10 to try that out. If I activate the Swirling Surf, is it gonna buff? It felt like it is buffing, so it was working like that too, I guess. So it can be used for everyone, especially, or let's say you want to make a PvE legendary gem setup. It can be helpful in there too for everyone because it's gonna be cheap. And those type of gems like Pain Class, Berserker, and this new one, let's say I'm removing Spiteful and using that, I will deal more damage, even though Spite is 5-star. And it can be better than Spite is a defensive gem, obviously, but there are some offensive 5-stars. But those 3 gems can be sometimes better than those damage-wise in PvE. So it's a good addition for that, I think.
What I can recommend here is that it, of course, depends on which build you are playing. So what you could do is that you could go to the training dummy with the build you want to play, and then you can just look at the breakdown. Like, okay, how big of a portion is my primary damage? If your primary damage is and your legendary gem damage is way above 50%, then you should not use this gem. But if
yeah,
you're playing a very skill focused build like some wizard builds right now, then it's a really good option. And of course, if you're going, if you need some extra damage when you do open world farming, then it's also an excellent choice because when you're open world farming, you don't
yeah.
want to
Just
use the
running.
primary attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I got asked like multiple times, like, is it this new gem, one star gem, better than Berserker Eye? In my opinion, no. And the main reason, bro, Berserker Eye has critical chance, you know. So and it is a global damage increase, you know. So just in like in those things, it makes it like a much better gem. However, I'll rank this one as like maybe the top two best one star gem in the game right now, and maybe like third place Everlasting Torment, or like the Pain of Subjugation for the Barbarians, for example.
I've never really understood this because they release some gems that affects all damage, and of course that's the best. So I don't really get if there is a gem that gives, let's say, 12% to all damage. If they introduce another gem that is very specific, like X percent damage to continual damage, then they
Yeah,
should make that number higher.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense if you have to choose between Berserker's Eye and Eye of the Unyielding, for example, which increases the continual damage.
yeah.
Why would you go for Eye of the Unyielding? It makes no sense. So they
Mm.
should buff the values of these very tech gems with specific damage types.
So I think like when it comes to the legendary gems, I think we sorted out. This is pretty much like the feedback that we have to give. Pretty good all around, very good gems. 5 star, nice to have, but maybe not a must have. Second star, like super cool PvP gem. If you want to try, go try it. And the 1 star, if you're a free to play player, I will say it is a must have. Or like if you have like Ordat was saying, open world spec that you're just gonna run, you're never gonna use the primary, is also really cool. And you know, in that sense, I think the patch did a good job. I'm satisfied with the gems that we got. So talking the last point on the patch, we have Tower Alliance, and I'm gonna be honest, I read and but I don't really care much about like the tower thing, so I just leave these to you guys.
Well, it is good and bad, I think, for like if you already have an alliance in the game with other clans, it can be good for communication, even you are on shadow side because it gives you a new chat. But for like if you are three strong clans, you will probably want to have your own alliance to get for that third tower, because in the alliances, tower alliances, only the leader can have three, and I think there are like two or three guardian clans. They
Two.
can have two. They can have two towers as regular, and then you have other regular clans. They can have only one tower. I don't know. It is good for strong clans, I guess. What do you think,
Yeah, but
Oroth?
it's also there are two aspects here. The first aspect is the social aspect. So this unlocks some potential because yeah, it's a nice chat. Those who have played Immortal can attest to that it's very nice to have an Immortal chat. And now you can yeah make another alliance to get this chat, which is a huge plus. But what I also think the purpose of this is that
Change the color.
probably there
Change
are
the
some.
color.
Excuse me.
Change the color of the chat. Is annoying.
Oh yeah, that they could do, sure. No, but there are some maybe weaker clans that also want to have a chance to keep a PvP tower, and now the stronger clans can help them to achieve that. So it's a little bit too early to see exactly if the towers will be enough for all the alliances, but we will have to wait and see.
Yeah, for me, just give me the buffs. I'm cool. Tell me the time of the Tower War. I'll go there. You know, when I really admired, bro, like officers in guilds and guild leaders and all these things. So, Abu, I think now you're dealing with that. I don't know if Orot, like you are an officer or not, but
I'm the proud clan leader of Nyx, so Warrior
holy
Nyx, Dolak
shit!
Skål for all of my clan members watching. Yeah.
Okay. I take my words back. Okay, so you know these very well, right? But yeah, you know it is a lot of freaking work, man. It's in today I'm actually I recorded the video that I say like Diablo already feels like a part-time job, and if you are a clan leader, is a full-time job, right? So, um, I don't know. For me, I'm actually excited that they are trying something new because I felt like right now towers were just used to make these like fun war events. Like, okay, we're gonna do like a tower war for less than 3k reso. It was being used for that, but I don't think that's the main purpose when you create like a mode like this. So I'm happy they iterate on it, and hopefully it's gonna be for the better. Because worse than it was, I don't think it will be. So now
But
we're gonna
imagine
do.
now you have
Oh,
a map with all the towers, and you can fight against other alliances maybe, and it can be a cool thing to see like, okay, who can hold the most towers, and that
we're gonna have
it could be
drama,
fun. It could be
more
fun.
drama into the server.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna do a small portion of Q&A. We just finished the first part of the roundtable of the new update, and one of us will select a question from the chat. So chat, I know you guys been typing. I've been watching. I've been watching the whole time, so don't worry. Everyone probably has been watching. Now is your time to shine. If you guys have a question about like the new update, about anything you want to know, just just ask us, and the best questions we're gonna start by answering. And I'll say, Abu, you can pick the first question, or maybe we give a few minutes to the chat or something, and we'll see. But there's already a question there.
Yeah, we can start with that one because it's gonna take like almost a minute to catch up for the chat. Like delay. So
Okay. So the first question from Raiden: does Banquet set work with shock effect of wizard skills, or the shock is different from bleed and poison? Okay, this no idea.
this is our last question, I think.
For you,
Yeah,
bro.
well, if I understand the question correctly, we are talking about the shocked effect. And
Yes, with the
the shocked
banquet set.
effect, um, I don't know if isn't banquet with continual damage, or is it with harmful effects?
It's
It's
with harmful,
yeah.
harmful.
Okay, I to be honest, I'm not sure. I haven't checked if shocked itself triggers banquet device.
But it
It's,
should. It should. On
yeah,
theory,
it
it
should.
should.
It should. It
Yeah,
should.
in theory, I think it should. So, we
For
also
those
have.
who don't know, shocked is a debuff that you put on a target, and when you apply this effect, it will increase the damage taken from all types of lightning damage by 50%. So it's a very strong buff for certain builds.
Well, actually, it says continual damage on banquet.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So
so it's
Uh,
like more like dots,
so
right? So
yeah,
as long
like
as you have Viper, you're gonna be fine.
exactly. So in that case, it should not work. I haven't tested it, but it makes no sense that it would work.
Yeah.
some of the harmful effects are continual effects, but
Hmm.
I'm not sure if shock is a continual effect.
Okay. We will have to do some testing and find out.
So I think I have here a question for the Orot, because you probably have the most experience on the Vanguard right now. Four man meta for the Vanguard. Okay, I know this one. Four barbs. Okay, that's all.
Well, I beg to differ. The only thing, if you want to put any class, four of them, it should be Necro, because you have Pardon Gift. So that's an easy one. But I got to be honest and say that I haven't played that much Vanguard. And the reason for that is because, yeah, this cap. So I did the 5 buffed ones, and then I did like 6, 7 more runs just to see if I could find something. And the only thing I was able to find so far was these survivability gems and survivability effects. They are very strong in Vanguard. So use Battle Guard, Legendary Gem, and look for the magical attributes that reduce your damage taken. So that's the main tips. And also Survivor Paragon, of course. But
You went with the
I
brawler.
also heard some of my clanmates, they said that it's good to mix the different charms and have one of each. And that maybe makes sense. But I've not tried it myself. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, I completed level 4 with 1 Necro, 2 Crusaders, and I was Tempest. 2 Crusader definitely makes it easier because they take turns on Conjuration of Light. It makes it very easy. I don't know what was Necro was using. We had 1 heal, uh, or yeah, we had 1 or 2 heals, and the rest was Bane, I think, the purple one. Yeah, 2 Crusader, if you have Crusader friends, you
Yeah,
can
the
call
bubble
them.
definitely may help a lot, right? So I saw today. I'm gonna shout out another content creator, but probably everyone knows Mao. I think that's how you spell like Mao. Is an
Or
excellent content creator, man. Like he brings all, he crunches the numbers and all these things. I love his videos. And today he actually launched like a 1 hour video about the Vanguard. I managed to learn a few things, and one of the things that he was saying and talking about the new meta or what could be like an optimal setup, he was saying that two people with healing and two people with might. That's what he said. Like, and with the might, like having different buffs, because there's two different mights, and yeah, he was talking about that. I love the healing one. I feel like for me, I was struggling with the level 3 because I was doing with a find party because I was thinking in a way that the way I do my content, I do for like the casual player, the person that is probably starting and maybe doesn't have a lot of friends. So I go with a find party, and I go with randoms, literally with randoms, and then because I was struggling, I was trying to find like different ways that I could carry by myself as a barbarian, and I found like some interesting mechanics. And as a carry, if you're gonna try to carry solo, to help your teammates, because it's not like your teammates can die and you do everything solo. No, you can't. Your teammates, they still need to survive uh, through like that shards phase, because you alone will take a lot of time to fill it up like the bar. But then the boss, you pretty much can kill him by yourself. So the healing charm for me was like a must in that sense.
I also have to add here that you shouldn't waste, if possible, you shouldn't waste these buffed runs on lower levels, because the higher level you compete in, the higher rank charms will drop. So if you have some teammates in your clan, for example, who already have stronger charms, you should do these buffed runs in level 4, because then you can drop up to rank 12 charm, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And that will, I mean, if you click on the charms, you can see how much damage
It's
and health they
huge.
will add. It's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally huge. Like, there's no way you're gonna do that without the charm. And Blizzard, can we please, please, please put us the automatic swap on the charms? It is so freaking annoying. Like, we always have to keep swapping the charms. How many times did you guys actually went on a dungeon with a Vanguard charm? You
Yeah.
know, and then you go to the Vanguard event again, and we have to re-keep. Like, I just don't understand. Like, why don't we make it like so? It's just like just works inside the mode. Like, just put it on the menu. Like the way it is, just keep it there. And don't put it on the character. I don't need it. Also, the charm is only 2%, or okay, it can go to 10, right, for whales, but most of the times, not almost anyone actually goes like to beyond like the 2-4%, right? So I don't know. It felt like
Yeah,
a waste of opportunity.
but in this, you are already too charming, so I don't think you need that. So
Oh
don't
my
worry.
god, Jesus, dude, I,
Yeah.
I can't handle it, chat. I can.
They can just add some like another socket maybe, or it can work in the other like sections
Yeah.
of the inventory.
And I know that a few people I'm reading in the chat, they said to me also in the comments, "Hey, but you can just put it on the armory and just put your yeah."
Yeah,
But
that's
okay,
true.
it is true, but I have so many builds on my armory. Okay, I
Yeah,
keep testing builds, and there is not. It's not like there is an infinite number of builds, and I need them all. It's like I can do that, but why do that? Like, it's just taking one slot for no reason. Just make it automatic swap. You go inside, like you keep it in the bags, you go inside the Vanguard, it swaps or something like that, and you get out and
just add the Vanguard charm slot, because
yeah,
it
yeah,
only
or,
works in
or, or
Vanguard
that.
anyways. So that's the
Yeah, yeah.
easiest solution.
In this, did you
So,
play the game when we didn't have this many spots on the armory?
can you repeat? Sorry, I got distracted with the mall. Is in the chat. Big shout out to you, man.
No, in the armory we have 10 slots. It wasn't
Yeah,
used to be like that. Do you
really?
remember? Yeah, it was how many
No,
was it? 3, 4? How many it
Yeah,
uh,
was?
I don't
it
know.
was
I only played
very
for
few.
5 months, almost 6 months now.
Yeah, this
I think
This,
we
is
had 2 or 3 or something like this
yeah,
maximum,
this
and
is
then
the
they,
better
they
version of the armory.
yeah,
then they
it's
made five,
crazy.
and now it's 10, right?
I keep saying like in the videos that like there are so many. Like, for example, you guys had to deal with the Oradin not to be able to reset for 2 freaking years. Like, I just don't understand, man. Like, there's a few things that I really give props to the veterans because they've been here for the longest time. And for me, because maybe I'm used to other games where like there's a bigger quality of life for gear management, for so many things, But we give a discount because it's a mobile game, but I feel like maybe like the we should don't not put like so low the quality when it comes like to managing green sets and all these things. Just make our life be easier, because it's gonna be more fun to not deal like with the annoying stuff in the game.
Yeah, if,
There is still a lot of things when we're talking about the armory. There are a lot of things they have to add there as well because, for example, it doesn't save your familiar. If
Oh
you
my
have
god.
different, like me, for example, I go and do my 5-star gems dormant for different types of content, and so I have to run around doing a lot of micromanagement, anyways. So
Yeah, and now you guys are forgetting because we can swap our Oradin also. So if I'm dots builds, I want to go with potency. But if I'm PvE, I want to go with armor penetration. So they are two different specs, two different builds. And you can say, just to go with the generic one. No, no, no. I like to go with the Make Max one. And maybe in the future, we had the Reforge, huge W from Blizzard. We got two sets. I feel like that made a huge difference. Please just change the Oradin, put it the familiar and all these things. Because the other day I also went, like you're saying, Oradin very well. I went with my dragon without savior to the BG, man. That was so bad. I just
yeah.
I got slapped in the face, no one dying, nothing. Anyways, we're gonna enter right here, chat. Very important. The
Maybe.
biggest topic.
Oh, okay.
You wanna answer another one?
Yeah, we only answered like two.
Oh, two. Okay. Habu,
Uh,
you pick this time.
as a new free-to-play player, gems should you focus on as it is hard to upgrade? We kinda answered this, but we can go over it again. I think you can answer this one in this, or you guys together.
All right, you go first. I want to see first.
yeah, what I want to say here is that. Yeah, it's we could talk about this topic for ages,
Yeah, it could be a whole podcast.
but don't focus on only one gem package. Try to get a bunch of 2 stars and upgrade them to rank 6. That's like a magic rank where you get the most for your gem fragments. And yeah, your 5-star gems, maybe you only need a few of them. You don't need to get them higher than rank 3 to start with. But what's important to note here is that for different types of content, different types of legendary gems are more important. And it's a lot better to use like a rank 3 2-star gem that is perfect for that type of content compared to a rank 10 2-star gem that's not perfect for that content. So I see a lot of players, they focus on 8 gems and then they try to upgrade them as much as possible. And then they use these gems in all types of content. And in my opinion, this hinders you from performing as good as you can. So yeah, it's a long topic, but yeah, I recently made a legendary gem guide where I
the
like
package, the,
actually gave very
the package. I
specific
saw.
exactly. I've done one package for farming, one package for PvP, and also one package for DPS. And each package consists of 5 gems. So if you want to dive deeper into this, I recommend you to go and watch that video. It's called the sexiest legendary gem guide because it's also very
Ooh.
sexy. Yeah.
Yeah, I will link it on the chats so you guys can save it.
So for me, I agree with Arat what he said. As a free to play player, the way I approach things is just focus in one 5-star. I think it's gonna be for you still the blood soak jade for the movement speed. I think people, they of course like rolling consequences like super OP. But for me personally, because I run around and all you do on the game is running around, right? There's no horse, there's nothing. The 10% movement speed for
Crusaders,
PvP.
sorry.
Okay. I forgot about that. They've been a bit low on the tier list, so I kind of forgot about it.
They are S tier for sure. We're gonna come to that soon.
The comeback is good. But as a general sense, and I understand that not a lot of people have this mid-max mindset, and they go for this universal kind of setup. And for me, I have a universal setup, and it's not because I don't like to mid-max. It's because I don't have enough gen power to steal after like 6 months to go and have multiple builds. I just can't. Usually I put like some Oxy rank 1 here and there, but you are limited also for your by your gem power, right? So that's why I feel like, especially in the beginning of the game, you see many players with like they try to find what is the optimal 8 gems, and then as you go into 1 year into the game, maybe you already have like a lot of gem power to actually go and make, only for PvP, only for PvE, for the open world, right? So these will also depend the way you like to play. If you like to play with dots, like myself, because I can play in PvE even if it sucks, and PvP because PvP is my main focus. Or you can go with just burst gems. It's like, Berserker's Eye, the new 1-star gem Entropic. Then you have, for example, a really good one, Fergen's Fang from the battle pass. What else? Pain Clash with Viper Sting. Like all these gems are just like top tier for a player starting the game, and you're gonna do like super super well with it.
Yeah,
So
like it is kind of tough for like if you want to optimize legendary gem setup from start, you need to know what do you want to do in the game, which
yeah,
can take some time. So start upgrade your like more generic gems, like maybe Berserker, Pain Class. These will probably work on most of the classes.
yeah, we a staple.
Yeah,
And you can look for, I mean, if you just want to figure out for yourself which gems that are recommended here to start with, look for damage modifiers. So something that has like a flat damage increase or a flat critical hit chance increase. All of those gems will be useful for all types of builds and classes. But once again, if I would start playing Diablo Immortal today and I knew everything that I know now, I would definitely not only go for a few selected gems. I would rather have like 10 different rank 3 2-star gems compared to like 2 rank 6 2-star gems, because it will be a lot more fun if you can try out different things, and you will notice that you have a lot higher output in different types of content if you have this mindset. So
Yeah,
it might be a
100%.
little bit overwhelming at the beginning, but it's worth it, in my opinion.
Now, I also I want to say that I feel like there is a stigma that I'm trying to break on the game, that it is like pay to win rules the game. I mean, it does. Pay to win exists, but I feel like when I look to the free to play potential, I feel like people put the potential like here, like right on the floor, and they don't realize if you really optimize your character, if you know what you're doing, your reforges, your gems, your normal gems, your auradine, like even your pet, all these small things, they add up to a potential that, yeah, you're not gonna be a whale, but you know what? Even like a 5k, no shots intended for the album, can defeat a whale that is like 10k whale. Okay, it's gonna be as one shot as a free to play player. Maybe we're gonna be faster, but just believe that if you guys optimize a bit, you guys can do like incredibly well, not only in PvE because PvE is easy, but even in PvP you guys will be able to do much better than you are probably currently doing. And well, I'm just gonna plug, okay, I got a really good PvP guide that you guys can follow, and just please believe me, if you're free to play, watch that, and you guys will see your character going from like 0 to hero, man.
And we
So
have to add here that let's face it, I think that most players, they don't look on the details, and it's true that if you are, let's say that you have 1k resonance and your character is poorly built, if you then go into a PvE setting with someone with high resonance who is also poorly built, they will perform better. And the conclusion a lot of players are making is that, okay, I'm 2k resonance, and this guy who is 4k resonance, he deals more damage than me just because of resonance or secondaries or whatever. But this is not true. And if you are a free to play player, let's say that you played for some time and you're maybe around 2k resonance, if you have built your character correctly in terms of magical attributes, in terms of reforges, and looked at all of these details, you can deal more damage than someone with 8,000 resonance who has not focused at all on the details. And this is just a fact. So that's just the main takeaway that I always try to talk about in my videos, to educate people about this fact.
yeah, And you know what? I'm the proven legend that Orat. I saw your guide, man. He has a ultimate DPS guide for Diablo Immortal. It is amazing. You'll understand all the buckets of damage, whatever you can optimize, and literally, this man changed my life. Back like when I was a complete noob at this game, I think I doubled my DPS just by changing like a few things, a few gems. And so go watch that if you enjoy PvP. PvE and you want to just like boost your damage, just watch that guide, understand, because what I feel like it happens a lot to many players, because a lot of the content of Diablo Immortal is, hey, look at this build, put this green set, put these answers, these skills, and boom, okay, you're good. And is not always like that, okay? So please, if you try to understand the theory, the mechanics, how they work, why these buckets exist, it's gonna be like way easier for you. Not only when you see a build, they say, "Oh, okay, I see why he's doing this," and instead of like just straight copy, not understanding what you're doing, and then you go to the BG and you're like, "Oh my god, this build sucks." But Abu said that he was so good at it, but oh, it's because he's 5K. It doesn't work, and it's not always like that. So understanding the game, how it works, is definitely a plus, and Orat does it very well. I'm also trying to do, and I know that if you guys watch the streams of Abu almost every day, you guys can also learn a few things. And well, is it time, boys? Is it time for the big one, the big tier list, class tier list?
Yeah.
I
So
think so. I think so.
we're gonna do here a tier list chat. Don't get too mad if your class is in the trash bag. So, but it won't be probably because no class is there. I think there are definitely a few better than others, but overall, I feel like the classes are getting to a better state. So let's start with the best class. I'm sorry. Let's start with the first class, Barbarian. What do you guys think?
Like I,
You go ahead in this. You play Barbarian the
yeah.
No,
most, I
no, no,
think.
no. I'm the last. I'm too biased, man. I'm pretty. I'm too biased on this one.
Well,
Yeah,
Let-
you can go ahead, Habo. You can begin.
um, are we doing like S tier, A tier, like that, right?
Yeah, I will say also uh, for the whole overall, but of course, like the end game of Diablo is mainly at this stage PvP. So PvP also takes a big place here. But have in mind also farming, running dungeons, like the casual thing on the PvE plus PvP.
Okay, I think, well, obviously Barb easily S tier for PvP. If you played PvP in last month or two, you know why. And in the open world farm, it is one of the best, low effort, and new dungeon builds are pretty good too. Barb used to lack in dungeon builds, but it was like a half a year ago or a year ago, but now it is changed too. So overall, like PvP S tier, and overall I think it's still in this S tier, including PvE as well, I would say. Yeah.
What about you, Audit?
Yeah, I mean, the main perk in PvE for a Barb is no one can get as big as a Barbarian because you can get bigger from the Brawler Paragon, you can get bigger from the Protector Warband Room, but you also get bigger from Wrath of the Berserker. And size also increases your movement
Movement
speed.
speed.
So
Yeah.
size matters actually.
Hell
And
yeah.
yeah.
The
So
bigger the better, boys.
that has also been always been a very strong plus side for the barbarian because in most types of content mobility is what's most important. But I have to say though that there are some other classes that can move even faster thanks to a lot of dashes, like dash capabilities, especially now with the new abyssal verge fixes.
Mhm.
I'm gonna release a video on that topic again very soon, where I will highlight the powers of these fixes because we are breaking the game when we do it properly. So it's gonna be very exciting. But yeah, for sure, I would say that Barbarian is S tier in PvP. I would not put it S tier in PvE, but I would probably put it A tier.
Okay. I'm a bit hurt, chat. 8 year. Come on, man. No, I will say definitely PvP 100%, you know, because we used to be this idle bot, you go to the idle, you stay there, you die. And well, after, the auto build came into the game and just broke the game. Now we had the, you know, Crane came with a great idea, and he made like that huge PvP build for the hammer. And I gotta props him, man, because I made a build based on the PVE one, and I still use the chains because I think the chains for my playstyle, because I'm lower reso, I play around the idle. But if I was higher reso, like 3 5K, probably I'll be running the Oda build that you just sprint and you kill everyone in front of you, and you just like I mean, you want anything like when I was watching Abu on his stream, I was like, man, this looks fun. This is something that looks freaking fun. um and yeah, 100% S tier, because not only I still play as a tank, because I play more as a support. I still use the old school demo shout meta build, because it's still like better if you're playing around the idle. But if you're higher reso, go have some fun, go kill some Tempest and everything, everything, just kill everything. And on PV, Ben, I had a guy that whispered me, how are you so big? And I said, that's what she said. And literally, I got a screenshot. And I mean, I feel like it's a fun class. It just feels good. Like when you play a barbarian, it just feels good the way you hit. Also, the same way it feels good whenever you play like Demon Hunter. It's super fun. Like you're just spinning, you're doing like thousands of damage. I know, Abu, you don't like it, but it is a fun build. It is fun. If you play Demon Hunter, you see all those numbers. It is fun. So
I would have
yeah,
to say there that the spin to win is not the best Demon Hunter build out there. But we're going to talk about Demon Hunter soon,
yeah, yeah.
and how Demon Hunter can maybe be the kryptonite to the barbarians right now if you play it correctly.
We can segue into the Demon Hunter then. Let's go, Demon Hunter. So to finish, Barbarian S tier all around. I feel like this is the average. We all know best class in the game. Demon Hunter.
All right, go
Yeah,
ahead on this one.
yeah. Well, I'm a little bit biased because Demon Hunters is one of my favorite classes. But I believe that Demon Hunter is a very strong DPS dealer, both in PvE and in PvP. And I mean, yeah, we have the strafe builds that are super strong, of course, especially in PvE. Maybe it's not my favorite in PvP, even though a lot of players like it. But I'm a huge fan of the summon builds, and if you have seen any of my videos, you know this by now. But what I like right now in the current meta in PvP is that a lot of the barbarians, they don't run anti CC, so I can play a trap build where they get stuck, they can't reach me. So it doesn't matter if they can one shot me because they can't reach me. And I can put down the summons on the idols and force them off so they can't push it properly. So I have to say that Demon Hunter is quite good right now to play in this meta if you play the summon builds, because you can stay at a safe distance and keep kiting the enemies. But of course, that build is not for everyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I really enjoy it. I really like these ultra range classes and builds in PvP. That's my playstyle.
Uh, go ahead, Abu.
No, you didn't say the tier.
Oh
No,
yeah.
no,
Okay,
you
just
can
because I'm
say
biased, I'm
no.
gonna put the Demon Hunter in A tier for PvP. For me personally, I would like to rate it higher, but then people will hate on me. So let's be diplomatic here. When it comes to PvE, uh, there are certain builds that deals crazy amounts of damage, especially in the right team compositions. And here I would say that if you play solo, you will have higher single target DPS with the strafe build, but you will be more efficient with the best summon builds, and you will also deal more damage in gauntlets, for example, with the summon build as Demon Hunter. There's also a very cool trick. I haven't actually shared it on my channel, but there is an essence where you can place down sentries and upgrade them, and you can do fully upgraded sentries before the boss starts, and then you can deal crazy amount of damage in raids and gauntlets. So huge potential there. And in PvE, I probably rate it also A tier because it's a little bit too slow compared to the top classes in Abyssal Verge and open world farming.
Yeah. What about you, Ab?
Well, I don't like Demon Hunter.
F tier.
But actually, I was surprised when I wrote said A tier for PvP. I hate strafe animation. That's one thing. It's strong, yes, and it doesn't matter the ranking of the class. I agree on summoners being more effective. I play it from time to time too, but it gets boring quite fast, at least for me. So one day summoner, one day spin, and then I'm done with Demon Hunter on streams mostly. When it comes to the tier, man, it's hard. We don't have A plus, right? Because
Yeah. I'll put the A plus.
I would put between S and A. I don't want to say S because I hate it. And I
You
don't
will.
want to. A
I
would
put
be
it at A, so you can put it at S if you.
no. Then you are gonna be like betrayed to your own class. So I will say A2, but I would put A plus or something like that. And PvE, well, I don't know. I didn't test the damages, but at least it has to be A tier or something. I guess maybe even S. To
Yeah,
do
it's all,
this, actually, maybe we can set up like a fixed, but then it's not gonna work. Yeah, I was going to say maybe let's make a setup and test and compare all of the classes in the future, but to one person to do it, too much work, and maybe we can plan on this. Anyways, I'm not sure about PvE, but at least A, it must be, I guess. Yeah.
Let me just throw in a little joker here as well, because I was talking with a guy in Battlegrounds. His name is RHM. I don't know if you know him, but he told me about something I didn't notice, and that is that the new offhand for Demon Hunters, the one with the spinning chakrams that links with your primary attacks, it also places a debuff on the target, so it reduces damage made by 80%. 80%.
oh
So
my god.
this means that if you are able to use this on a barbarian that are hunting you, you will reduce your damage by 80%. And this effect is not strifed in PvP. So I have not been able to like experiment with it myself, but I believe there's some very huge potential there for demon hunters that are maybe not explored fully yet.
Lion Zhao, right? That's the name.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's the name, I think. Yes.
yeah, if you guys want
And
to check it
this
out.
was not when we got the essences in the patch notes. It didn't say this, but if you equip that offhand and then you go to the skill page, you can actually see that it places an 80% damage debuff on the target. And I mean, if you can manage to put that on a target and get close enough to apply it, that's huge.
So for me, I just want to say something because everyone puts like super high value on the rezo, but I still feel like there is place for skill. And what I mean by this is like the skill gap between a very good demon hunter or a wizard, for example, and a casual, Andy that just goes like 3 BGs per day, it is huge. Okay, so I can say that demon hunter sometimes it feels like it's S tier because you cannot do anything, and other times like, man, this is just trash. Like, why are you playing summons, man? Like, you can't even pressure the idol, you can't do anything. But I gotta admit, because when I saw your build with the traps and I saw what he did, I was like, I hate this guy, man. He's gonna make my life hell in BGs playing Barbarian. But it was such a cool mechanic. The knifing traps. I learn how to dodge them now. The same way I learn how to dodge slightly better the balls, the lightning balls from the wizard. So definitely Demon Hunter for me. I will go with Abu on PvP. It is a solid A plus because I feel like you can do bigger impact in Strife. I will probably put like it A or A minus because unless you're like a whale that you can just literally obliterate everything with your damage, most likely you're gonna die quickly because you have to go a lot to the front line, and it's just like, for me as a barb, a lot of times it's just easier to just, because I still use the chains. It's just easy to grab them and clap them. or just grab them and send to my team, and my team, the Tempest comes and kills it. So in that sense, I'll say A plus for the summons, and probably A minus for the strife.
I
And
want to just say here that I would put the strafe build even lower, but that's my opinion. I know that some people loves it, but I would put it
yeah,
down in C tier or something
yeah, I will say
because
like
you die
A.
way too much with that build. It has too little survivability
Yeah,
compared
I put
to
it like A
some other.
minus for whales, just for context, like for the ones that you are a god, you have like 5, 6, 10,000 rezo, and you want to carry, you can still carry. The problem is like if you get a Tempest with 10,000 rezo, you're gonna be in trouble, right? And on PvE, I mean, it is a solid. It is solid. Like I don't want to say like it's S tier. I'll say like it's fun. You just spin, you do a lot of damage, especially on the bosses. And I'll say it's a solid A. What it annoys me the most, it is open world farming. But finally, I got my level 30 gear like a few weeks back, so hey, I don't need to farm anymore. So next one, wizard. You go, Arad, first.
Okay. Well, there are of course some viable builds in PvP for wizards. I wouldn't say it's the strongest. I haven't played too much wizard in PvP. I've been trying to experiment a little bit with this macabre facade helmet essence, but I still have to do some more testing. Hopefully, I can come up with a cool build. But in PvP, I would definitely put it maybe B minus. Uh,
Really?
that's my yeah. Well, I might be wrong here, but that's my feeling. But also, it might be because with the builds I'm playing, the wizards are not really a problem because yeah, I play a lot of summon builds and they tend to work very well against wizards. But maybe I'm more suited to rank it in PvE, and I think that what's really nice about the wizard is that there are so many different builds that are viable. Maybe it's not the top damage dealer, but if you are farming in dungeons and in Abyssal Verge or something similar, there are so many different type of builds that you can use that works very well. And therefore, I would like to place it maybe A minus in PvE um, because it just has so much versatility.
What about you, Ab?
Well, it's been too long since I played Wizards, so I don't know anything about PvE side. But in PvP, I know them because we play against them every day. It's annoying against certain classes like Barb and Crusader, I think. It is annoying against Demon Hunter too, especially the spinning white stuff. But if you are playing Strafe, obviously, that can annoy your movement flow. Um, so B, I guess, because it can be countered quite easily too if you have at least a decent Blood Knight Tempest or maybe even a monk.
Even a monk. That's a bold statement.
Maybe. Well,
Just
I class
kidding.
changed to monk, so we need to
Yeah, yeah.
hype the class a little bit.
Of course, of course.
So what
So
about you in
yeah,
this?
for me, I will say that wizard. First of all, I want to say that wizard is in such much better state than it was maybe like a few months back. And I think the direction for the class, it is going a much better way, you know, because wizards used to be almost useless except for open world farming. They are really fast. Uh, but now in PvP, I would say they are very, very impactful. It's again the same problem as Demon Hunter, and maybe even more, even higher, because wizard, it is just harder to play in general, harder to survive in my opinion. Mages in all RPGs are usually required like like the skill ceiling of like a really, really good mage or wizard to a normal one is even higher in those classes. I feel like a lot of people, yeah, they know how to throw the balls, but the main issue to play as a wizard is like, how can you survive? How can you deal with a tempest? Like how can you deal with a barbarian that is coming with a heartless helmet and just ignoring all your CC and you know avoiding like the smack on your ass. So I feel like that's what it makes a difference whenever you look at the scoreboard and you see a wizard with like 10 kills one or two deaths or even zero deaths, and then he has like 30 assistants. That's for me what it is, like almost, if not S tier, but it is not the class that is making it S tier, or the spec. It is, the spec for me, it is a tier. But then if you're a very skilled player, you can almost make any spec in the game look like a S tier. And that's what I feel like happens. There are BGs that you feel like goddamn wizards. I don't even leave the base, and there are others that they have like three wizards and they just like run them over, and you just kill the nexus, and it's fine, right? So I'll put PvP probably A tier. It used to be like way worse. I think they are going to a good direction. And I still think like in PvE they are a bit lackluster. There is like, I know that there is like the Maw build that he did, like with the fucking crazy DPS, right? It's super exciting. Like, but I didn't try. It just like looks exciting. I don't know if it is as good to play. If it feels as good to play, like for example, the build that Mobilix did, like it has like such a high potential and it's like super super cool. But then if you want to play it like on a 24/7, it is hard, especially like if you're on the mobile. But nevertheless, wizards in the chat, if you guys like the more new wizard build, please let us know. But I'll still say that probably I still think is a bit worse than Demon Hunter. I rather have a Demon Hunter on my party than a wizard, so probably like B plus, B plus. I'll say.
Yeah, when it comes to these, like, probably except, I mean, Barb and Tempest, I'm gonna say, but especially on Wizard, Demon Hunter, or Monk, like, kinda under the weather classes, the skill gap is more obvious from player
Yeah.
to player. Skill gap plus obviously account power too, but you can easily tell a bad wizard between a bad wizard difference between a bad wizard and a good wizard pretty easily, because there are some wizards, I said B tier, but some of them, like you said, they are playing like S tier. We can say this for like every class, but starting point of wizard I think is B, and then it can go up to S. But on Tempest or Barb, like,
Yeah.
at least if you are decent enough, you can at worst start at A plus or S, and if you bad, you can drag the class down, obviously. But starting points, we are talking about starting points mostly. At least that's how I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like any potato player can play Barb. Just even if you don't know how to play Barb, just sit in the idle. You're gonna have an impact. That's why I say that as a free to play player, if you're like, for example, I'm at like 4,500 rating right now, or something like very very close to that. And I only get whales. I cannot get a matchup with someone on near my rating. It's always like 10k, 8k, 9k. So the only way that I can go and have an impact as a no just a player that just started the game is with Barb. There is no other way. You play smart, you play around the idol, you see another Barb, it's probably a whale or something, and oh, the Undying Rage triggered. Okay, I'm gonna go there, and I just like, I'm a dispel bot. Okay, I'm literally the dispel bot for these whales, and you just gotta play smarter, But definitely the skill the skill gap, it starts probably at the A, and then it can go to a S, but like the difference, is way shorter.
And
Uh,
everything you said about free to play applies to everyone actually, because you see there is 5k player and or 7k player, 8k player, but then there is and that guy plays 8k, but you know his name
yeah,
because he's playing good at the same time. And there are a bunch of, you can see a bunch of 8ks, and you know they are 8k only after a loss when you check their stats. Like this,
yeah,
playing
yeah.
attention
I also know the names of those ones. Okay.
to doing the right things applies every player, but like at least you have the resonance. You can maybe just run around and do some stuff, but it creates a difference for everyone.
Yeah.
Every reso thing.
Just an interesting notion here. It's that when we do this tier list, we place most of the classes quite high. So
Yep.
I know that there's a lot of complaints about how the game is unbalanced, and there will always be these types of discussions. But if you think about it, all classes are playable and can be
Yeah.
impactful. So
Oh,
that's just a sign that the game is maybe a little bit more balanced than people give it credit for
yeah,
in
probably
many cases.
you remember those old times. Like meta was one class or two at its best. Now we can like play Demon Hunter, Tempest, Barb. I'm just counting the good ones
Wizard.
or like tier higher ones. You can almost play with every class, which wasn't the case, especially at the I guess first year of the game. When something broken came out, it was just broken all over the place. Obviously, same stuff kind of happens, but you can at least play and be impactful a little bit with each class, every class.
Yeah.
They are all like in a much better state than they were months back, and I feel like that's why I was saying I want to praise it because like sometimes things are not working out completely, but maybe not on this patch. But what it matters and what I look for is the direction that the class is going for. Because maybe they add like 3 or 4 answers and the class is not that good, but maybe in the next patch that you got to get more answers is like the rest of the package that whenever you put these answers together is gonna make like a better build. So
Yeah, but what I also have to add there is that there's a lot of players, they are playing a build and they have success with it, and then the meta changes, and then they continue to play the same build for months. Like it's also important to adapt. Like, okay, now if there are many barbs, what should I? How should I alter my playstyle? How should I alter my build to counter this meta if
yeah,
I'm not going to play barb myself, for example?
yeah,
Like if you take demon hunters, there was at one period of time with a knockback shot, it was like a primary attack meta for a month or two, like a year back. And then I could see demon hunters trying to utilize this build for ages. Like, so it's also important to not only blame the balance or blame everybody else. Look in the
yeah,
mirror and see, okay, how can I change?
yeah. 100%. Mindset plays a big role, especially in PvP. So the next class is gonna be the Abu's favorite class, Monk. Is you know, it just changed to Monk. We're gonna have some interesting Monk streams in the next days. So well, you can go for it.
Well, can we skip Monk, please? No, jokes aside, I think I'm seeing at least more monks. Actually, in Europe, I only see, maybe I pronounced the name wrong, Karazim doing good with monk. He has decent stats and not much else. Hopefully, we are going to be the second if we can figure out something. But especially on low, with low resonance and stuff like that, probably it will be way harder to play monk. I don't know, but I'm just assuming. Um, I'm not gonna put it in rest in peace because of
Yeah,
the last
yeah.
essences. We are gonna put it in D, I guess. After I play, maybe I can move it up to C. I need to like play myself too because I'm not seeing too many monks doing good. Some of them, actually, like one or two of them, not even some, doing okay and good. I need to trade a bit, but for now, I would say C. And I don't know the PV builds. It's been a long time since I played monk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to say about monk that since I like to play the summoner builds a lot, there's been many times where I've been looking at the monk thinking, wow, this is the time it will happen. Now monk will be super
This
strong.
is it, boys. This is the
Yeah,
patch.
yeah.
This is it.
And then when I try it, it's kind of underwhelming. Like so it looks good on paper for a summoner, but if you compare it with the necromancer or a demon hunter, it just
Yeah,
can't deal enough damage or have a similar impact. So of course there are utilities and some buffs that are useful for the group as a monk, but no matter how many times I've tried, I've never been able to compete with my best summoner builds. And maybe there are other builds that I haven't tried, but for that reason, I have to say that for PvE, I will put it at D tier because I don't see anywhere where it outshines any other class. Maybe I'm missing something. And for PvP, I've never played monk in PvP, so I'm not the correct person to answer it. But I have been playing against monks in PvP, and therefore I will have to rank it F tier.
Yeah, it's good
Uh,
rating, free rating, right?
Wait, we don't have F. The last.
we
Come on,
just
come on, come on.
invented F.
No.
Yeah, no, F
We-
No,
tier
I'm
for
messing around.
free rating. You know.
in Swedish, in the Swedish alphabet, after Z, we have 3 more letters, and the last one is O with 2 dots. I think you have it in Turkey as well, and I will have to put it in that here because it's the lowest in the alphabet.
All right, guys, our rod is leaving now.
Yeah.
No, just joking around. Yeah, I
So
respect that.
I will say that 100% monks are better in this patch than the other one. Okay, that's obvious. But how much better? Because hey, I'm gonna just tell you how does it feel to play against a monk as a bard. I'm on the idol. I stand and I put my Wrath of the Berserk and I'm gonna put the Berg Breaker spinning around me. And you see the monk like pop, pop, chop, chop, it disappears, it goes again, he puts the and then he dies. Okay? So he tries hard. I mean, I can see the effort. I literally can see the effort in the skills, they are smashing those buttons like crazy madmen. But it's not enough. It is not enough, shit. It is they don't do enough damage and they don't
Yeah.
survive enough. Or maybe they survive because I think now they are a bit tankier, but whenever they are tankier, they don't deal much damage, you know? So overall these is always think like this. Why would I have this class? When can I have anything else? And until you don't have an answer for that, that class will always be dog shit. That's just how it is. So do you rather have a barbarian or a tempest, or you rather have a monk on your team? I think like that's the answer is clearly. And I will also say that monk, I played with it, and the most obnoxious thing, I got it to mastery 4. I tried it. I even tried your build, the summons that you did like a few months back, or it is a fun build. It's a fun character. I can see why people like he goes you know. But then I know they removed on the patch, but it was so annoying. Every time you cast a skill, the guy stops. You know, shield stops. You're running, it does another one, stops. You know that will as someone who was used to come like from a barbarian, that break of flow was really really annoying. So I'm super glad they removed the animation breaks, and now it feels like more a more fluid class to play with. And it does well. It still does well in PvE. I mean, every even your pets do well in PvP. Okay, so I'll say PvP. I mean, it is the tier, man. Like, there's no way they until someone finds a way, and the problem is not gonna be me to fix the class. It's not gonna be fixed. Maybe you're gonna have to wait again, maybe one more year, and it's gonna be nice. And in PvE, again, same thing. D tier. Like, why have monk when you can have anything else? So that
Can
is my take. Say,
can I just add something here? There is something that bugs me a little bit about Monk because there are some skills that looks super powerful. There are some Shield of Zen effects. I think it's called Empathy's Blessing. I'm not sure. That puts a buff that so whenever that target uses the primary attack, it will apply burn. And when you read the text, and it's also on some other essences, it says that it should apply to all allies, to all nearby allies, but it only applies to one target.
ooh,
And this is, if they would change this, it would really unlock like huge potentials for the monk class. So I
yeah.
don't know if this is intended, but it doesn't do what the text says.
Yeah,
Uh,
I wouldn't mind, and I think anyone in this panel wouldn't mind a major patch where Monk is just freaking OP. You know, I think they deserve it. They deserve a patch where they are just godly. You know, and you finally gonna go and play with Monk and try and have fun because I mean I feel like a healthy meta is not a meta that there is only one class ruling. I'm a Barb. I'm super biased. I don't want Barb for the next year to be like the super S tier one because it's gonna be boring. Like even inside the barb, I don't want the auto build to be the meta. In 3 months or 4 months, I want like a new thing, and that's what it keeps it fresh. The game. So the continuously changing of metas and players and content creators finding new builds, it's what keeps the game alive. It's what keeps players excited. And I will say hashtag buff monk, man. Let's go. Like
Actually,
I think they deserve.
I don't want
But
it to
it's
be OP. I think like OP Monk means Tempest. It's the same playstyle, same role. We already have that. I think they should like release
Fill
whole
up.
bunch of new essences for like to make Monk like a support class completely meets with new effects, maybe even overhaul like that would be better than just making increasing its damage and making another Tempest. I think like maybe I don't know. It can be debuffer or we don't have heals, but even if they introduce heals, like heals over time, maybe something like that can be cool.
Yeah.
Or it can apply something that can remove damage over time. I don't know. Like they have to figure that out. But
Yeah, different play style. Like maybe
yeah, yeah, yeah.
more support, like something cool, man. That can play around the idol and maybe help everyone. And maybe it's not only the barb that needs to be on the idol,
Yeah,
and
something like that instead of another assassin types shit. Because we had that with Monk before,
yeah.
like especially before that Shimmerlin meta. You probably don't remember, but Orot will know that we used to jump in, press 2 clicks, everyone dead. Like fuck
yeah.
that too. I don't like it. I liked
Yeah.
Monk before that. It was like you have to go CC and then deal your damage, and you had to aim it kind of nicely to make it work. And back then we didn't have this many AOE CCs or control effects, or even not many damage over time effects that can
Yeah.
be used. It was possible to play like that, but in time, after they released these stuff that can impact Monk playstyle in a bad way, then it became trash,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And maybe it's not also it's not monk that became worse. Maybe the other classes just kept getting better and better, and monk kept being very stale and
Yeah,
not evolving with time. So I guess talking about the next class, the solution to monk was Tempest, right? There's like, man, fuck this shit, man. We can't solve this. Let's make a new class, boys. Just throw monk to the. So Tempest, what do you guys think?
Water Monk, go ahead, Arot.
Yeah, well, Tempest are clearly very strong in PvP. They're excellent backliners, so they can dash around without being able to crowd control. Also, with the Eternal Affix from Flowing Strike, with this shield that gets reapplied all the time, I think the Tempest is, of course, very, very strong. Yeah, I think I have to place it in S tier for PvP, maybe S minus.
Yeah, less
And
carry.
in terms of PvE, I know I haven't been able to play it as much as I want. I know that there are some high potential builds now in terms of DPS, but yeah, in open world farming and dungeons, I feel that there are other classes that are maybe a little bit stronger, but they are still a good class. So I would probably put it at B tier in PvE. And I mean, of course, you can always debate whether to put it in A or B or C, a class. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to think of, okay, is this class the best in any type of content in PvE? And if the answer is no, even if it's an all-round class, I can't really put it higher than B.
Yeah,
And
makes
that's my
sense.
opinion.
Yeah, makes sense. What about you, Abu?
Well, PvP compared to Barb, like I put both in S tier, but I think having a Barb, when I have a Barb in my team, I am a bit more happier than seeing another Tempest or a Tempest
You feel
because,
safe.
yeah, like one, it is kind of easier to play the Barb, and the impact of the Barb is quite straightforward. Tempest needs to, yeah, like casual Tempest can do good too, but a good Tempest can do better, obviously. and you don't have those every time. So Barb is a more safer. So I still S tier for PvP. Even though I don't like this Niv skill rolling surf tank build, because the the reason is the same of me not liking Strafe. I just don't like the animation, nothing about the class or how
Super
good it is.
annoying.
Yeah, and PvP S tier and PvE dungeons. It's pretty strong in dungeons. I recently played it, so damage output is pretty good. I don't like to do open world farm with open world or like Verge, those type of stuff. I don't like to do those with Tempest too much. And I'm not even sure if we still like you basically don't need to do open world farm, but still, I would say like A, I guess, because you can use a dungeon build in the same build. You can use in raids, dungeons, terror rifts, and all the other stuff, except the ones you have to like have 100% rolling surf. You can kind of have rolling surf 100% on this build too, but anyways, A. It's good.
Hey. So I will say, and I'll start with. I completely agree with the animation is super obnoxious. Please just do something about the animation. Like there's too many things when you say when you are in BG and you have like three tempests all around you. All you see is like those boomerangs. It has to be changed because like it just the whole screen is obnoxious. And when it comes to PvP, uh, I gotta say that I still see in this day and age Tempest in PvP, not using Flowing Strike 4 out of 4. Come on, man. Like, it literally makes your class going from S tier to maybe a B tier in terms of like overall in PvP, just because Flowing Strike with that 4 out of 4, it is so strong for your survivability that you probably you if you don't have it you cannot feel it or understand it. That's just how it is. So if you are a Tempest, please use always the 4 out of 4. It is super strong for PvP, will make an impact. And then I agree, like for me I will say they are probably S minus, or if they are S I will put Barb in S plus, because I even though they are S tier I think Barb is taking a slight edge because the skill cap isn't as hard to play. However, if you have a barbarian like a 10k whale barbarian, it cannot carry as easily as a 10k whale that knows how to play really well. I feel like 10k whales as Tempest. This is my personal experience from what I see in my BGs, are really hard. Like the Tempest is a class that if you know how to play and you're high reso and you have everything like super sorted out, all the all the shields, it can perform so well, and you can literally you pick up your team on your on your backpack, and you just win the game most of the times by yourself. As long as you have like one or two barbs to just push your idol, you're gonna be fine. So I will say that as a whale, I feel like Tempest is still like stronger than probably Barb to carry a game. Um, but Barb is still like so superior. I'll say like overall Barb is much better. We are talking here about like a very niche thing that happened that only certain players, maybe like Bull, in other Bull and other guys that can also play like Tempest like really well and carry so nicely. So S minus overall, and then for PVE, man, it does a lot of freaking damage, man. So and it's fast, and it's really fast for dungeons, especially for dungeons. I will say they are pretty fast. So I'll probably put it like at S tier when it comes to dungeons. Everything else I feel like is maybe a or a B. But when it comes to like just you have a map and you have to run, and it's not only mainly bossing, because I feel like bossing maybe necro most likely does more damage, especially if it's the necro of Orat.
But,
So
but I just have to say the Tempest it's a great alternative in PvE.
mm-hmm.
But like I said earlier, there are other classes that are a lot faster. If you
Yeah.
want to if you want to run from point A to point B, you can do it fast as a Tempest, but you can do it even faster as some other classes. So
Okay.
that's why I put it a little bit lower. It's not. It doesn't mean that it's a bad class, but
Yeah.
just to get some diversity here in the tier gradings as well.
Yeah. So I feel like we all agree that overall, as a class, especially for PvP, is a S minus. You guys agree? What do you guys think? S minus, and
Yes, yes.
then maybe for PvE also. What do you think? A minus, A,
I
something
would.
something along those
I
lines.
put it B, and I would stick with that.
In
Yeah.
D. What? What do you mean in D, man? Okay, hey, it is what it is, boys. It is. I tried. I tried, chat. Um, so the next one, and I will say that personally, the next class, it is for me one of the best class designs ever. Okay, it was the first class I played, and it was the main reason why I started to play this game because it doesn't exist on Diablo 4. Then I used to play Diablo 4. It is Blood
Oh, I
Knight.
thought we were gonna do the Necromancer now, but
No, 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 no.
okay.
Necromancer
With
is
that introduction.
no, 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 no. You're right. Because Necromancer is very OP in Diablo 4 with the minions also. So I think I don't know if you ever tried the Diablo 4. If you like Necro, you're gonna have a blast. But Blood Knight, I mean, it is such a cool looking class. And but the major issue, and if you guys don't mind me going
Yeah,
first,
go ahead.
is like is great at everything, but he's not the best at anything. It's like no, jack of all trades, master of none. That's how it feels to play a Blood Knight. You can do good damage, but you can never be like the best damage. You can be good at PvE or PvP, but you can never be the best. It's just like, uh, but have in mind, I only been playing for 5, 6 months almost, right? So I don't have the OP era where Blood Knight was super OP, blah 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 blah. So I don't have that context. But in terms of design, in terms of like fantasy and playing the class, bro, it feels like super good to play. It's like is beautiful. So I'll put on PvP. I think the BK summons is actually very interesting. I'll put like maybe like BK summons in A minus, and yeah, and there's nothing else you can actually play with that. There is a tank build, but again, like only a very strong player can play that. A minus for PvP and PvE. I'll say B. B tier, maybe C tier, probably C tier.
Okay. Uh, for PvP, I think it was really good before this newest essences came out because now if you get caught with a barb hammer, you are kind of fucked as a Blood Knight too. So it kind of gets your freedom of movement a little bit because you kind of need to get close to leave your summons and get out. Still good, but I guess I would put it in like B in for PvP, maybe B plus on a good day. And the same thing applies for the tank build too. Even strong ones can struggle again in some games. They don't like shine too much anymore after the recent essences. And for PvE, maybe I'm not up to date, but I don't like the open world farm build of it. Dungeon build is fine, but overall, the enjoyment of PvE with Blood Knight, once again, the builds I used was like C plus C maybe.
Yeah. What
Okay,
about you,
cool.
Oro?
I would have to say that I think I agree with everything you said, almost Hubble. I would definitely put the Blood Knight at B tier in
What
PvP.
about me?
Yeah, well, you as well, of course. But B tier in PvP, and the reason for that, I haven't played that much myself, so maybe I'm missing something. But there are some Blood Knight players that are very impactful. But if you take the average Blood Knight player in Battlegrounds, they will not be that impactful. So I would maybe put it at B. I would put it in PvP. In PvE, the same as you said in this, it's not really the best in anything, and therefore I can't put it. And it was the same thing with the Tempest, as I said in
Yeah.
PvE. So therefore, I will have to put it at maybe like B minus. I have to say though that one strength that the Blood Knight has is that it has great dash capabilities, and I maybe will upgrade the PVE aspect if I try it, because there are some new cool essences that's been out. So before any Blood Knights in the chat becomes angry at me, there might be some potential. And my dream is to make an abomination build work somehow, because it's really cool. So I really like the class, but yeah, I can't put it higher than that for sure.
Yeah. It doesn't feel that way, but for me, it's almost like Monk and Blood Knight are almost in the same spot, even though Blood Knight is slightly better, but it's like in that weird era that, is not great at anything. And definitely is a class that I feel like in the next patches they should look and just make it a bit more powerful than what currently is. So we have overall, I would say like B plus is the, because I gave A minus, you gave a B plus, and in order to give B, so probably B minus is overall for PvP, and C for the PvE.
Yeah.
Then we
Something like
have
that.
Crusader. What do you guys think? I like the horsey, man, but it sucks in PvP. But besides that, it's a cool in PvE. It's so cool. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I can start here, and I have to say that Crusader is one of my favorite classes, especially in PvE, of course. For PvP, I think it's very weak right now. Uh, I don't see any viable builds. I'm not playing that much PvP with Crusader myself, but when I'm up against Crusaders, I don't face too many issues. So I would have to place it at probably C tier in PvP. But if we look at PvE, boy oh boy, the
Yeah,
Crusader is crazy good.
yeah,
And first of all, it's the class that can deal the most single target DPS solo with some fire banner builds, and yeah, it's crazy. Also, if we look at farming, like in Abyssal Verge or dungeons,
it's
there are
crazy.
some builds with the Crusader that is currently breaking the game. And I'm actually gonna release a video very soon on this topic, because there is a certain way to buff the Crusader now in farming. I'm not gonna spoil too much, but it has to do with the new Abyssal Verge fixes, where you can. Yeah, I have never played anything like it, so I'm super excited to share it. But for that reason, uh, there are certain aspects of the game in PvE where Crusader is the best. So therefore, I have to put it at S tier.
Yeah,
And also, of course, together with some other archetypes, if you pair a Crusader with a Fire Banner, and you have a Necromancer using the correct builds, or if you have a Demon Hunter who brings a lot of summons, the damage output with the Fire Banner is crazy. So not only is it very strong by itself, it's also perfect to bring with you in a group setting. And now I'm not talking about dungeons. Now I'm talking about also talking about Gauntlet. I mean, if you want to do the speed runs and do the top results, you need a Crusader with the Fire Banner. That's probably the best buff in the game, in my opinion, in terms of damage output at least. So yeah, S tier plus, S plus. Here we
S
go.
plus 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 plus. Man. What about you, Abu?
Well, once again, Crusader, one of the classes that I played a long time ago. So I will just take the word of Orods. And what did you say for PvE tier?
Yeah, I rate it S plus.
Oh, S plus. So I'm okay. I'm gonna take the plus side off because I didn't try myself, but I will say
Yeah.
S. For PvP, um, well, when you see a Barb in PvP or Tempest, you kind of like shake a little bit or think about it, what you're gonna do. Some Crusaders are good, no offense, but you don't really feel that against a Crusader. So, and once again, I didn't play it. Maybe some people are doing really good, but I would say C tier for PvP just from playing against it. That's how it feels like, and I'm not gonna like talk too much about it since I didn't play it for a long time. But I would say C, PvP, S,
And also,
PvE.
I mean, the main strength, just to add here, the main strength that the Crusader had was like the bubbles. But now they can be removed easily from the barbs as well. So, I mean, what's really the use?
Yeah, That's exactly the point that I was gonna say because I play Barb and I love to play against Crusaders, man. And you know what is more satisfying is if you're a Barb playing on the vault against against a Crusader when they in the vault when you're defending and they are coming down on the stairs and the first thing they do is what they put the bubble on their party and then you go with the barb and you dispel all of them. It is such a satisfying feeling. So the way it feels now, the if you're not a barb and you don't have the dispel, is okay. You have a Zader and is on the idle or not, and as long you just need as long as he has the shield, you're like looking at the clock. Okay, how many more seconds? Okay, 5 seconds. Okay, then you wait and then you kill it. That's how it feels, right? So it is when I played it in PvP, it looked boring, you know, and this was even before I played with Barb, even before Barb had the Spartusk. Maybe I was playing the wrong build. You know, I was still a newbie. These things, but not talking about my experience, but talking about the experience that I see whenever I play phases in. Like I was said in very well, is that you don't feel fear. Like you see a Zader and it's like, hey, okay, it's not a Barb. You know, that's what you think about it. But in PV, oh boy, man, it is freaking good. It is literally the best friend that you always wanted to have in life, but is always with you in the dungeons and or the raids, and he puts the banner and is always supporting you, is always there for you. So whenever you have a Zader in your party, it is amazing. It just feels amazing. But please don't be that cringe the cringe Crusader that goes into the dungeons without a banner. I mean, that's the only reason you were there, you know. No. Okay, okay, I'm joking. I'm joking. Okay, I know. Also, I want to add another thing to the fire banner that maybe was not explained for all the players. Why is so OP with classes with summons is because, for example, if a Zader is with a barb, only the barb will add the fire damage extra dots on the target. But if you have a necro with multiple minions, not only the necro and all the minions would add like 6 or 7 or 8 dots at once, and it's gonna burn down the boss, and that's why it's so overpowered. Please correct me if I'm wrong, or it.
It's exactly
Um,
correct. And also, whenever you apply a dot effect, the first tick of damage happens instantly. So whenever you or someone hits the target, it will trigger a tick of damage every time it hits it. That's
oh
why it's
my
so
god.
strong. So if you imagine you have a skeleton as a necro, for example, and it goes bam, 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 you also get bam, 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 bam of dot ticks from the fire banner for each skeleton. And
Because
if you,
it's
on
not a
top of that,
duration,
use
right?
what did you
It,
say?
it's it's not the a duration dot, right? You have an instance that it does instant damage, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, well, any type of dot, when you apply a dot effect, doesn't matter if it's from the fire banner or if it's from seeping bile or whatever
Okay.
dot you apply. Let's say that it will deal one tick of damage every second. The first tick of damage happens instantly. So when you apply a
Oh,
dot, you don't have to wait 1 second for the first tick of damage.
got it.
And so therefore, it will reapply the dots every time it hits the target. And on top of this, especially as a Necromancer, you can use the Ravening Silence Pants. So that if you use Grimscythe primary attack, every time you hit the target, you will also deal the remaining dot damage each hit. And it will also deal the remaining dots from the summons. So that's why for example, I made one build with Necromancer where I was able to do 2 billion damage in 1 minute at the training dummy, thanks to this mechanic. So it's
Yeah,
overpowered.
yeah. 100% Zader is if you I will say like if you really love PvE, I'll say like Zader, it is probably if not the best class to play with. It feels insane. It feels like great everywhere you go with your horse, you know. So just go have some fun with the fire damage, and yeah, I think we can agree. C tier for PvP, S tier to I know you said S plus 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 plus, probably S
S is fine.
plus
S is
S
fine.
plus probably for PvE,
And
because
now, just one quick thing before we move on to Necromancer is that now you can also use the banner while on the horse. with
Oh,
the
the new
recent
change,
patch.
right? The new
Yes,
change.
so this it makes it even better. So
Yeah.
just a small thing to add there.
Yeah. Just to make it even better. Meanwhile, Monk cry there in the corner. So, last but not the least, Necromancer. Okay, go for it, Arad. I know you're excited. I know it's probably one of your favorite classes in the game.
Yeah, it's my main class if I would have to pick anyone. I've been playing it since start, and I really love the class itself, just because it suits my playstyle. Maybe it's not the strongest anymore. It used to be the PVE god. For some types of content, it still is. I think, like in a gauntlet, for example, it's very crucial to bring a necromancer for survivability, and they will also dish out a tremendous amount of damage. So if you pair the necromancer, if you go solo, I would say that it's probably A tier for damage output. It's a little bit slower in some types of content. So unfortunately, in PVE solo, I would have to rank it B plus maybe, um, because there's a huge issue. For example, with the new mages, they are a little bit too slow, so they don't catch up when you are running very fast. So if they just uh, fix the class a little bit, it could be very high tier again. But if you pair it with a Crusader, then it's definitely S tier for some types of content. But overall, maybe B plus, and that's maybe the lowest it has been since launch, in my
Yeah.
opinion. If we look in PvP, I would probably say that there are a few different builds that are viable. It's not maybe the best builds out there, but I would probably rank it A tier in PvP for sure. It has great survivability, and it now with the dot meta, it is able to put a lot of dots on the enemies, which can be really difficult to deal with. And the top necro players, they are wreaking havoc in the backline. So a very strong class for sure.
Abu.
Well, PvP, there. The only issue I have with Necro, it's the same thing. It's been like how many months now
Too
that
long.
yeah, there's like different versions of it a little bit with they change dark curse with use something else, but at the core, it is kind of the same build. It is boring to me play anymore, which I used to like that build a lot. But if we like don't think about it, it is still really impactful. Those dots are annoying as hell. They can take you down quite quickly if you are weaker, especially if you don't have resistance too much. They stick so long. I know because my resistance is low. They're annoying. Um, Build diversity is not like there is not we don't have that basic. There is one build or a couple versions of it. I would say A overall performance for PvP. Like I'm not including the boringness of it. And PvE, uh, B plus, I guess, because actually when I last played it, I think you had a build like there is some pants. It works like sprint on Necro.
Yes, Journey Abundant.
Yeah, that was
So
kind
it
of
gives
fun to
you
play.
50%
Yeah,
movement speed.
it was kind to play with that. I'm not sure. I guess you were able to use it in dungeons too. So then yeah, and yeah, A in PvE. In both PvP and PvE, I would say A. And yeah,
So for
Can I just
me,
add one
yeah,
thing?
yeah, yeah. Go for it.
Because I really was excited for the batch of essences that came out recently for Necromancer.
They look really good
A-
though.
and I played around with it in PvP, and I had great success with it. It's quite difficult to play it. You need very high map awareness. But what I have to say is that they they should, if they just would have buffed these essences a little bit more, the range of the new bone armor that makes the summons immune, it's a little bit too short range. They should make it a little bit bigger. And also the new golem that prolongs the duration of the mages, it makes a roar every 2 seconds that prolongs the duration, and the range of this is also a little bit too small. And also in PvE, whenever you put all of your mages up, if you teleport into another zone or within a dungeon to a new zone within the dungeon, all of the mages will die. So if you are on the elevator, for example, in Tomb Buffer here, you have all of your mages up, and then when the elevator crashes, all of the summons dies. So I think that they need to fix this to make the class a little bit more viable, in my opinion.
I will say like Necro was in a better spot the last patch, and I think one of the main reasons is again Auto Barb coming into the play. They can smash necromancers like way faster than before. It is still an annoying class to play, but I don't see like as a super hard carry. It's just annoying. Overall, is an annoying play style. That's how they play. They want to be annoying. They want to kill you near the base, or whenever you reach to the idol, you're already like half HP or with your undying rage triggered, right? So that's the disruptive play style that they play. However, I feel like having one necro is fine if you have another team. I think they have a spot to be in those 8 slots on the BG, so it's not bad to have one. But I don't put it even close to Tempest and Barb. So for that, I will also put it in the A tier. And for the PvP for PvE, I will say, yeah, I think like the slowness of the class itself. It's been a while. It's been like probably like what 3 months since I played Necro. Was the class before that I played before Barb. It was just slow overall, because I came from Crusader and then I took Necro, so the shift was like super big. I was not used to, even though like the minions were fun and I could do like this lazy farming while I was playing Diablo 4. But was besides that, I didn't see a lot of benefit to keep being a necromancer. So I will say probably for me is a C tier when it comes to PvE. In the Of course, like if you put like raids is the content that probably excel the most, because not only they have the bone armor, but also they will do a lot of damage with Zayder. But that's like a very niche thing. Also Vanguard, we also have Vanguard, which is like more or less the same mode as raids. So I think they are in a position that if you count more modes coming to the game like this, like Vanguard, that you have to do, it's gonna be good, because raids we don't care, we just face roll them, and Vanguard, to be honest, in 2 or 3 weeks we're gonna do the same. So there won't be a real reason to always bring Necromancer. So this wraps up the whole classes of the game. I think that, like I said in the beginning, I don't know if you guys agree. The classes itself, besides one or two, are in a better spot now. Most of them ranked like pretty high when it comes to the tier list. So I think in the direction that the game is going. If I was, for example, a wizard, I'll be happy. If I was a monk, probably not. But those are like, monkey. I feel like is an exception to the rule, and maybe also blood knight, because the rest like is doing pretty well if you're playing any of these classes. And hopefully in the next patch, the meta will change. Maybe you'll have something else besides barbarian, just smashing the whole game. And I think we already spoke about the current state of the PvP, like while we were speaking
Yeah.
about this. So I don't think,
Yep.
I think we can skip this topic, and we can
I
just
just
talk
want
a
to,
bit.
can I just
Tell
say
me.
one thing here? I think that they have to change how dot effects work. Dots are
Okay.
way too strong right now, and at least they could start by nerfing the grace so it doesn't interrupt bandage. Because I think that this is for a lot of players, you get hit one time and then you just stand wait to die. It will keep on damaging through your savior and everything. So I just want to say that that's maybe the main issue for a lot of players in PvP right now. So I
Yeah.
hope they change it somehow.
Yeah, it makes the PvP a little boring.
Yeah.
Same style on everyone with
Everyone
different
is running.
skills. Yeah.
Doesn't matter the class. I think dots should be necromancer and maybe wizard. Like niche classes. But now I'm playing barbarian dots. That doesn't make much sense. I feel like I should be playing maybe a tank build. Like I would love to have like a freaking big massive big dick tank. Like I sit on the idol. Like I told you guys before the call, I'm trying to theorize like a build that I just sit on the idol and with the retaliation is like Thorn's Barb in the Diablo 4. When you hit me, I kill you. You know, like if I don't know, playing also a bit into a different because we don't have tanks, nowadays. Like Barb, it is not a tank. Okay, let's take that out of the question. It is not a tank. The only reason why they are tanky is because of Savior, because of Undying Rage, and because of Gladiator. Okay, because if you take Undying Rage out of the question, they're gonna drop like flies. Okay, you get a Tempest on top of it. Like he's gonna die instantly. But the Undying Rage probably will need a change or a nerf or I don't know. But I really don't know because the class without it is freaking useless, man. It's gonna be dog shit. Like nobody's gonna play that because it's gonna be the same thing as the Crusader without the bubble.
No, the thing, like, we don't have, like, mm, in classic, for example, in WoW, you have the tank, but in this one, the skills makes you tank damage or whatever. So I think if they like touch Undying Rage, what's the point of Barb? Like, and this was always the case. Crusader and Barb always was the tanks because of the Conjuration of Light and Undying Rage, and I think they're not gonna change it. Otherwise, how gonna make you Barb
Yeah.
tank? Uh,
Yeah.
Obviously, you can add shields like Tempest. That can be a thing, but I don't know. Uh, if you take Undying Rage away from Barb, it's gonna be just like nowadays Crusaders because of the Spartask. Then it would give like leave us without an actual tank role that can play. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. So, for the PvP, nerf Grace. Try to create more diversity when it comes to builds because dots are just that broken, and don't nerf Barb, right? So these are the three. So for the last topic, we're gonna go is things, and also the chat. You guys can be part of this because we are almost ending the podcast. The last topic is things that we would like to have in Diablo 4. So let me take here my
Diablo
Bible.
Immortal, of course. Not
Diablo
Diablo
Immortal.
4.
Yeah, sorry. Diablo Immortal. The list of changes, I got them right here. Let me grab them. Okay, so first, they are a lot. Okay, we know they are a lot. So I would recommend to not focus like on the nitty picky and focus more on like what are things that will be like very meaningful changes for the whole player base. Not like class specific, more like what are the things that you guys would like to see in the game that will affect the overall game, the way you manage your gear, the way whatever it is. Please go for it.
Well, battlegrounds, new maps, new
I knew.
new objectives. Like I think we pushed the idols enough last 2 years. There can be some other stuff, yeah, and it can rotate like each couple of days, or because if they add bunch of mods at the same time, then we might not have enough players to fill all of them. So battlegrounds can rotate in with different objectives, with different maps. Let's say like 3 times a week, or I mean, shit, I can take two to like add something new to battlegrounds. I don't want anything else. Well, I would be so OP, and I can't really. I don't know, because they're adding stuff to PVE, but people are main like, yeah, I know people are playing for PVE too, but come on, like PvP map something.
Don't you like to farm how much it is 9,999 wisps? Like I mean, for me it was amazing. Like solved my problem. Like
Yeah,
thank God. Like
my
thank God they did that.
my pilot died, so I can't have wisps anymore.
Mhm.
Nah,
So
jokes
for you
aside,
will be battleground changes. right? Something
something
more exciting. Something that
PvP
can go on
stuff,
the stream. Yeah.
like c- a major update with PvP stuff. It can be quality of life changes too, because the current battleground is shit too. Like first phase, trash. Hard stage, trash. Why do you have those stages? At the first couple of months, they kind of meant something, but now they are just they die. They can
I,
even adjust this to like the current one and make it
I
better.
actually saw here these nuts. I'm sorry for the name. Saying capture the flag like Warsong Gulch in the World of Warcraft. You know, it's like you have to go to the other base, you capture the flag, and then you come in. It's like capture the flag. I don't know if you know what is this
Yeah,
type of game mode.
it's kind of like
Uh,
towers, I guess.
more or less, I will say Warsong Gulch, even though it was one of the most epic battlegrounds, it just like because it's like you need to deliver the flag on your side of
Oh,
the
you need to carry too. Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah, you grab it and you carry to your base. It led to like 2 hours battleground sometimes, 1 hour, because like you just have like two very strong teams that they defend very well, and then you have an attacking team. So I don't know. We need something else, but if they manage to get away, that's I really like some of the things they do with events. For example, Wild Brawler, like the battle royale, and there are some exciting things. I don't know if I will make that as a ranking thing, but I enjoy Tower War. The Tower War is fun, but I don't like that is at the same time as the battlegrounds.
Yeah,
Because then it's like two things to do at the same time. It divides the player base. I don't know, but I agree on that.
I
What
like the
about you?
I'll
Sorry,
say,
sorry.
I like the PvP events and those extra modes. They are perfectly fine, and they should be more of them. Like okay, but they like the main PvP thing is battleground that we can play in some times, time zones. Let's say they need to adjust that too, like make it better or add something new to it, other than adding new site PvP game modes. That's perfectly fine and good thing they are doing, but they need to adjust the main thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can change the subject here a little bit, and of course there are some bugs and some lags and stuff like this that has to be fixed, but that's maybe another discussion. But
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
want to bring up here, the main importance for me in Diablo Immortal is versatility, because I believe that if people are able to try out a lot of different stuff easily, different types of builds, they will have more fun, so that they will not be stuck into one class or one type of build. And that's the biggest issue for me right now in Diablo Immortal. And here I will want to see a few changes going forward. The first thing that I really want to see is that we have to make class change a lot easier, because
Oh
if we
yes.
go back to when class change was introduced, there was some issues. That so when you class change from a strength character to an intelligence character, the set items wouldn't change, and this made a huge hurdle so that people couldn't class change. But then they fixed this. But what's happened lately is that they've kind of reinvented the same type of problem. And I really don't understand this, because they already know that there's a spinner problem. So when they introduce new types of content, they should also try to have a fix for it already when it comes out. So, for example, now I've been playing Wizards for a couple of weeks, and I have the whole stash filled with wizard items. Because
Yeah.
the way I like to play the game is that I have one specific setup for DPS, I have one specific setup for maybe multiple setups. I have one setup for PvP. I have one setup for fast open world farming.
Yeah.
And when I'm class changing now, I can only pick one set of legendary items with me. So now when I went to Crusader today, my stash is full with superb wizard items. So here we need a way to, when we class change, all of the items in the stash also has to change to the class we're changing to.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, for me, it's a huge hurdle to class change. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is that
Okay, can
it,
I just speak
yeah,
about that topic, because I 200% agree with you. That's I used to class change all the time. I played all the classes before until I main one, and I said, okay, what is the most fun for me? And it was Barb. But the main reason why, even though I kind of want sometimes to change here and there, I don't, because I got like so many gear. I got like high CR gear. I got my open world gear. I got my PvP gear. I got like my with a with a rat. Like it's just like I got like so many set items to try, like for the auto build with a. It's just like too many things that also for you guys you probably have like the three stashes extra, right? For me, I only have two stash tabs, so it is impossible. It is
Yeah.
like we have multiple green sets, you have multiple legendary sets, so you can't you just can't like be swapping all the time. It is quite annoying, and I think they should like make the stat gear change to the class that you're playing with. I think like it's such a obvious change that they should implement on the game, and should be like ASAP, as long as fixing
Yes,
the lag.
the most important thing for me.
Most important thing, it like it ruins the fun of playing a game that is supposed to be multi-class, and you're playing like it's Diablo 4.
And they are keep adding new affixes to add like burden to this. Like now we have it. What was the name? Heliquary affixes too. You have
Yeah.
Eternal Gear. Maybe you want to do something for special for
Vanguard.
PVE. Yeah, I mean, maybe they are not doing it because then would kind of hurt the grind. Maybe it can.
I don't
No, but
know.
it is a grind. I mean, to perfect the builds as it
Yeah,
is a
actually.
hardcore grind.
Yeah,
And also it
100%.
resets every time there's a new difficulty. It resets again.
Yeah,
So it's a way
but
out of
Is that
line,
the
right?
second point? Is that the second point? The annoyance of grinding things over and over?
Well, no, but that could
no.
be a point as well that I brought up previously. But I have some other easy fixes that has to do with versatility, and one of them is that yeah, it's fun when the new essences comes out. People are hyped and they want to try out new builds. But I mean, I'm sometimes farming quite hardcore, and it can take weeks for me just to find
And
it on
you
one
create
class.
content.
Yeah, so I mean, I want to be able to highlight and showcase many different builds for different classes, but it's almost impossible. So at least what they could do is to remove the cap from the loyalty bonus,
Oh,
so that
that's
we
for
can
sure.
actually keep farming the SS and maybe even lower it to like 200 instead of 400. It would be a tremendous
Yeah,
change. And also, I mean, because now when they release new essences, uh, we have no time to farm all of them on all classes before they release new ones. So we miss out on a lot of content that we want to try out. So that's the second thing, and that's an easy fix in my opinion. And the third thing that also has to do with versatility, and I brought this up before, is the possibility to make 2-star gems dormant as well,
yeah,
because this would be great for many different reasons. First of all, if you are a little bit higher resonance, like myself, I have tons of 2-star gems in my stash. So I have made a lot of my 5-star gems dormant. So now to invest in my top reso builds, it's a huge hurdle for me, because then I have to destroy a lot of 2-star gems that I worked very hard to acquire. So therefore, I will not do it. So
yeah,
that's one thing that would be eliminated if we could make the 2-star gems dormant. But also for someone with limited resources, if you are a free-to-play player and you have invested into a 2-star gem, and then they release new gems, you can't really like try them out properly,
Yeah.
because if you have a build with rank 8 gems or rank 9 gems and you have worked over a year to acquire them, uh, if you try the new gem, you will only have it at rank 2 or rank 3. It's not going to be fun. So why not uh, opening up this possibility for players? Because I believe that people will have more fun, and when we have this versatility, it will improve player retention, and people will still enjoy the game more. So
yeah.
this is maybe the main issue for me in Diablo Immortal.
I agree with 2 stars. When I was trying to reach 5k, I had to like destroy like four, 5 2 stars rank 10s. They take time, they take platinum, they take gem power too. Then gem power is okay, but the copies are not cheap. Like when you destroy it, it goes to waste basically, and it, yeah, like you said, takes away the flexibility to play around. For example, if I had my fervent pain clasp still for PvE, I would go for them and for certain builds too. But now I can't. They should add that. They should have been added that with the 5-star dormant thing. I don't know why they didn't do that. Hopefully they can add, because this was like mentioned to them a lot of times too after they did this 5-star thing. Hopefully
And
they change it.
yeah, it's such a flaw, especially like the main issue and the main reason why we have even like the question like, oh, what are like the 8 gems, like we need, like what are the like, it's just because of this lack of versatility, like Orat was saying super well, that you just feel caged and you feel like, okay, any mistake I do, if I pick the wrong gem, it's gonna set me back like weeks, sometimes months, if you are like free to play, right? Because it is to be kind of impactful in any PvE or PvP, as a free to play player, you gotta be like strategic. Like I already know what is the build that I'm gonna have like in 6 months, for example, and I planned for it like probably 2 or 3 months ago. And of course, like if a new gem comes, for example, now you were exciting me with a new 2-star gem, but there's no way I'm gonna remove any of my rank 5 or rank 6 Viper or Pain class or the Ferret. Like
Exactly.
it took too
Exactly.
long for me. 6 months of like,
It becomes a huge hurdle for you.
yeah,
So
one
people are
hundred
afraid
percent.
of making mistakes, so they stick with what they have, and then they can't enjoy the new content that is released. So this is a huge flaw in the current design. So I really hope that they fix this, and I believe that this will make all players enjoy the game even more.
Yeah. Also, I want to phrase like I was telling about like the Thorns bar build, and I can't. I don't have the resource to do. And if I had the dormant gem, I could test it out. And it is such it's not good to feel fear from making mistakes on the game. And I just wish we could give the freedom to players, free to play, low spenders, whatever. This affects everyone. It's not like just, oh, poor free to play players. No, is for everyone, because you sometimes just like, oh, I have this idea. I'm gonna try something different. I'm freaking tired of these gems. Fuck Berserker's Eye, bullshit gem. Like, or I'm tired of this voice spark, like this lighting. I hate this shit. I wanna try Hydras. I wanna try, like, I don't know, man, something else. But then you're like, you're locked. Okay, wait, I spent like 500 euros on this fucking gem. Maybe not. So it sucks. It sucks, and like you said, it is a huge pain in the ass for the design, and it affects the only people that get affected is the players overall. And I didn't used to have this problem as much, but now that I'm a creator, farming ants is a pain in the ass. But more than that is like I want to try different builds to be more exciting, to not be just like DPS. But I can't, and I wish I could.
And this is also why my recommendation in the beginning of this session was when we talked about legendary gems. If you are new to the game and you want to focus on what to upgrade, don't focus on one thing only. It's better to make 15 rank 4 copies of 2-star gems to have versatility and try out different stuff instead of like having one setup at rank 6 instead.
Yeah.
So this is maybe my like for newer players with limited resources, this is my main tip, because overall your output will be higher when you can equip the correct gems. But of course, the game's design should take this into account.
And
So yeah,
I just want to. I saw a comment from Chris. He said, "Let's not make the eye meant for free to play. That's not. That's likely why they don't give the opinion all the legendary gems. I should say, do not cater to around free to play. No, first of all, like I said, it was not for only free to play. This is a change that even for these two big guys right here, it affects them, because Abu had to destroy his gems that in the future he wanted to try, and Orat makes a bunch of specs that sometimes he needs a bloody reach, or is very specific for like a demon hunter or necro or something like that. And he just doesn't have the versatility. So it's not about free to play players. It is about the player base. It's something. It'll be something that if goes into the game will be good for everyone.
Yeah,
So
100%.
everyone
yeah,
can benefit from it.
yeah. Green
And
items. Can I
Oh,
say?
yeah.
yeah, of
We-
course.
Management. What do you guys think? Like farming the every like okay. There is two things I'm gonna touch. Socket number. Okay, the socket number of sockets.
Hmm.
Leveling up every difficulty and management on your stash. Because when I open that stash, bro, uh, I played this game many hours and I still don't remember all the icons. Okay, so please give me a filter or I don't know, something that I can look and I can keep it. I also saw Abu struggling in the beginning of his streams. Every time he has to class change to something else, he's like watching the items on the stage. And I feel like, what do you guys think about these the green item sets?
Socket thing for sure. It can be improved, or we can like I don't know pay wisps to add sockets if they're not gonna give it us right away full sockets, or changing the color that should be available with paying something like not money wisps or something like that. When it comes
Or
to
even plats. I don't know.
uh,
I would pay plats, 500, 1,000 plats for it as a
yeah,
free to play.
maybe. And in stage, well, stage sucks without that extra steps. I mean, tabs. I can't imagine like managing this with two stacks. I have
Yeah.
like three tabs just for green items. And when you organize them, it kind of works out if we like put boots, hand thing, and for example belts to one. If you separate them to two tabs, it works. But if you have only two tabs, then how the fuck you're gonna do that? It's gonna be
Yeah.
filled. There is gonna be your legendaries too. Uh, I don't know. For two tabs, well, good luck. I guess I I don't know how you can make it better. Well, it kind of forces you to pay at that point. That's intentional, obviously.
But I'm not saying I'm a big supporter that it is only two tabs, because
Mhm.
at that moment, if you're gonna pay, you're paying for convenience. So I'm not even saying like it is a struggle and it is supposed to be a struggle, and it's still fine with it. Like you just have to make more like better choices. You're probably not gonna have all the green sets on your bag. You're
Yeah.
just gonna have like maybe three, maximum four. Because again, it's not only your green sets, you also have your other legendaries for your other specs. So it
But
becomes messy.
having a
But I
filter
just have
would
to
be
add here
great. Oh, go ahead.
what you said about reforming stuff every difficulty. This is, of course, also a huge issue, especially now when they introduce new types of content with new types of affixes all the time. So, take me for example. One of my biggest interests in this game is to min max different builds to see,
Same.
okay, what is the most efficient setup for this specific type of content. And if I want to farm like this the particular items that I need, 100 paragon levels is not enough to perfect the build for just this content. And now we have maybe 20 different type of builds that could go into different types of content. And every time there's a new difficulty, it's like pressing a reset button. And at the beginning of the game, it was a little bit exciting because maybe, okay, now we can get a little bit stronger items, we can deal a little bit more damage. But now, when we have reached a new difficulty, maybe 20 times since the launch,
Yeah.
it's a little bit too much. So this is something that they really have to look into as well. And I think that one way to do this, maybe that's why they introduced the runes somehow. I don't know, something with that. But that system maybe is also not perfect. We can talk about that some other time as well. But yeah, for me it becomes a little bit annoying to just have to restart every difficulty. So maybe we can somehow use the materials to transfer
Upgrade. Yeah, just
affixes,
upgrade.
something like this. Because if you think about it, if there are 20 different type of builds that we can min max, it doesn't matter if we can start transferring affixes because it will take us years to perfect them anyways.
Yeah.
So especially when they add new affixes. So I really hope that they introduce this as well very soon.
So sometimes I feel like they lose an opportunity with, for example, new content like Vanguard. That the only reward they make is about like legendary gear, where you can get it legendary gear like probably like 25 ways, different ways in this game. It's not that exciting. So why not make, for example, a new resource that allows you to keep farming, like weekly or whatever it is, and then you use that resource to maybe upgrade one piece every 2 weeks. I don't know. Also, I understand they have to put here some resistance, so it's not like okay, I'm gonna go one day full nerd and I'm just gonna spam dungeons and all of a sudden, like in one day, I have all my gears. Of course, like it can't be something like that, but I'm on like what my second or third cycle of farming, and I'm just thinking, bro, I don't know how you guys have been doing this for so long, because I'm refarming it for the already Inferno tree, and I think it's the third time I'm farming. As like, man, I don't have like the same gas as I had, the same excitement, because the first times you do, it's like actually really cool. It's like anything in life, right? But now it just like feels like work, you know. And in the next you guys are gonna like the next video I'm gonna release, because I talk about a bit about that, how Diablo Immortal now feels like a part-time job, and so yeah,
Well,
I
to
hope
be
you make.
honest, I'm okay with farming set items every
I mean, but
difficulty.
you make a living out of it, like it's your job, to play this game.
I
But
used to play way more and farm way more before YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah, it's time. Yes, I play less compared to a
yeah,
year ago
I
or
also
stuff.
play less because I play. I'm spend most of my time editing this fucking. Okay, it doesn't matter. Sorry. Uh,
No, I mean I think we should have some. Yeah, perfect and it's hard, but
yeah,
continuous grind is I'm kind of okay.
yeah,
It would be nicer. I would maybe if it was that way, I would focus more on like every single magic attribute more. So I would keep grinding anyways. Probably you guys are like trying to say that should be the thing we should focus instead of getting them every single time. But let's focus one time, maybe for like 3 difficulties or 2 difficulties, and get the optimal magic affixes and everything attributes like that. Yeah, that could be a
I
good
mean, the
option too.
continue it would still be a continual grind,
Yeah, true.
even if you
yeah,
made these changes.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, why not have a continuous grind that is looking for new things all the time instead of having to look for the same things every time? Because it's
yeah.
going to be the same grind
Yeah,
anyways, because
I
that's
agree.
Diablo, right? But
So today I had this idea that, for example, now Eden Layers is dead content, right? Like nobody's doing that. Everyone goes farming. Thank God, thank freaking God. Like we actually go to Ereban or Abyssal and we farm the gems. So much better, W Blizzard. But now Eden Layers is actually dead content. So I was thinking, okay, what if they, remake, like instead of going to Eden Layers to farm the gems every day or every week, you make the layer so whenever, for example, you need materials to change one attribute, one magic attribute on your, for example, you have a chess piece that it is a 3/4 substats, like it's an internal, like the best of the best, but then it doesn't have beneficial. It doesn't have beneficial effect. And I look at the chess, I'm like, oh my god. I'm still gonna use it, but I wish I had a way, maybe imagine going to the layers, kill the boss, and the boss drops a new resource material that I can like gamble. Like there's like many games, like I think even like Diablo 4 now has these, like you can select the substat you want and you just roll it. There's like also like I used to play what is the game? Fuck, like Summoner's War, like on mobile is also, he has like these changing the substats, kind of re-rolling the substats. And I think like something like that could be something exciting to go back to the point of like Orati was saying, of mid maxing your character,
Yeah.
because it's I okay, there is the one thing that I dislike a lot when it comes to Immortal is the gambling. I don't mind the gambling. It is exciting. I like the dopamine, man. When you get like something really cool, it is really fun. But also, in the meantime, we don't get lucky. Let us work on that. Let us find a way that I can change small substats or stats on my gear to maybe, imagine this: you get a great piece, but then it doesn't have on Tempest the flowing strike answers. He has something else, and it is an insane piece for PvP. And you want to change, so maybe using even a terror instance. You use a terror instance on your gear, and it changes rerolls. For example, the magic attribute. It's a gambling, but you have a chance. I don't know.
Better than nothing.
Many ideas that I can give, like, regarding more gear optimization and gear, like the chase of not only being dependent on the gambling. For example, Aurat, he got like a godly helmet, like he got crit damage and attack speed. That's fucking exciting, but how many times that happened in your life in Diablo Immortal,
That's what I'm saying. You will almost never perfect the builds anyways, because since launch I've been able to find one item with those properties. So,
yeah. and
and I've
and
been farming a lot.
and in 2 months you're gonna change the helmet, or maybe 3 months, because it's gonna be low on CR, like way too lower,
The problem is I can't even use the helmet because it's a wizard helmet, and now I'm having something else on. So what does it matter? Like,
Yeah,
Oh my god.
itemization needs an overhaul for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. We have Avery saying fix the charm vendor. I mean, like, they should fix the charm system overall. Uh, what do you guys think about the charm system? Needs a remake or not?
Well, it's not that exciting, but maybe there are other things to focus on first than to
Yeah,
remake the charms. In my
100%.
opinion.
Yeah. Blizzard. Cut this part, Abu. After post edit, cut this part. Don't give them ideas.
But
Focus
what
on
I
the
have to
first.
say though, there are new types of content that are similar to charms. If we take the familiars, for example,
Mm,
a huge issue with the familiars is that you can invest a lot into them, but you will end up worse, right?
yeah.
Because it's 100% RNG. So I think that nothing should be designed that way. So, like, if you have a familiar that's great, it's almost impossible to improve it, because if you try to improve it, it will cost you a lot of resources, and then you will end up worse. So they should rework the whole familiar system so that you at least can somehow pinpoint skills that you want to keep and things like this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. So I think we can wrap up this session, and afterwards we can do like a more chill Q&A before we end the stream. So I want to say, first of all, hey, do you guys have anything else to add when it comes? There's so many things, many changes, but I think we touched like on or at least the pillar ones: PvP, gear set, versatility. Uh, make the game more fun. I think at the end of the day, that's all we want.
yeah.
And
But
tell me.
now I was just gonna say that you can start typing some questions in the chat, and if you have something you really want to ask, and then
Mhm.
Habunis can pick some out for
Yeah.
us to answer.
Yeah,
And
no, go ahead.
so I'm just gonna wrap up. I'm gonna give you the last words, Abu. And first of all, thank
Wait,
you
wait.
every single. Tell me.
What
I'm
up?
not gonna wrap up the stream. I'm gonna wrap up the episode.
Oh, okay.
So, guys, first of all, thank you to every single one of you that came here, that said hi, that lurk, that watch, that gonna watch this tomorrow, that gonna watch on my channel or a channel, Abu's channel, whatever it is. Uh, for me, I felt like we needed to do something for the community. I think, like, I have like this extra energy because I'm the new kid in the block, so maybe I can bring like fresh new ideas. But you know what? I will always bring these guys with me because we're gonna do like something fucking epic for this community to spice it up. We're gonna have some fucking spicy drama. And hopefully it's gonna be for the best of the best for the community, for the game, for everyone that loves this game. And well, thank you so much, Orat. Thank you so much, Avu, for having us on your stream. And for me, well, thank
Yeah.
to myself for being here for these 2 hours.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Great
Yeah.
moderating. Great moderating.
Yeah, special thanks to Indes. This was his idea, so we kind of jumped on his ship and doing this together. And moving forward, probably we will do this on Indes channel or our channel. We can like take rotations where to host the streams. And
Yeah, so
now,
don't forget to subscribe, guys.
yeah, you guys
Yeah,
can.
go subscribe, like,
Leave
comment
a
down
like. Come
below.
on, hit that like button now.
Yeah,
and the
turn
bell
on the
icon.
bell notifications.
Damn.
Man, that's so 2024, man. So, boys, thank you for watching, and we catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Yeah. Take care, guys. I mean, I thought we were doing questions and
Yeah,
answers.
no. It's just like now here we cut the editing. It's done. Now we can go into a. Okay, now I can.
Man,
I
fucker.
will unzip my pants now. Okay, I'll unzip.
You don't do editing things in the stream. People gonna leave after hearing that.
No,
Anyway,
listen. I'll touch you. I'll tell you something. Doing videos live is such a.
yeah, I do them sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was kind of sharp. Guys, we are still here for a bit.
Yeah.
You know you
Yeah,
can
so keep the questions coming, and
Oh,
we'll
don't
see how
leave,
long.
chat. Don't leave.
you can ask the questions now. See what people saying. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. No.
It's okay though. It's
It's
gonna
okay.
be now.
Okay. Next time I will clear. I'll be more clear. Chat. This is listen. Give me no, I think I did a good job. I just fucked up now. Okay.
No, it was good overall. If you guys have questions, shoot it. We will like answer few of them and then
What do you guys thought about this content, chat? Now I'm gonna put you guys here on the main screen. I'm tired of looking at Abu's face. How you guys doing, man? Let's I mean, in before the since we have the delay, how you guys feeling, man? I think it went fucking great. I don't know.
Yeah, it went great, but we have some questions here ready. The thoughts on the auction house. What do you have to say about the auction house? I think it works kind of fine as it is. I guess they reduce the time it takes to upload an item, so I don't see that. I don't see any issues there right now.
the only thing I don't like about auction house is I think we should have shared auction house between the servers we play in Battlegrounds. Because in some server and they are not even English speaking servers, so they have cheap gems, cheap normal gems too. So they can get stronger for cheaper basically, which is not sounds great. That should have been done when they merged those servers, but I think it's kind of too late. But they can still do it moving forward, maybe.
That actually great points. I don't use the action house a lot, but I can completely understand what you're saying because the economies between servers are completely different. And there's like this thing that I hear that people do is like these server shopping is they transfer, they shop, they come. It's something like that. Is a pay to win strategy. You
I
guys
think
probably
the
know, but
market would maybe be a little bit more vulnerable if it was a
mm,
shared market. Like if we take a macroeconomic perspective, there are probably some reasons to keep it the way it is, but maybe that's a whole
yeah,
whole
Yeah.
I'm not an
session to talk
economist.
about macroeconomics. But
Yeah, maybe I don't think Abo is also an economist. Me neither. But I
No.
rarely use, and I think like whenever Abo goes, is there just to shop most of the. Okay, one thing that I find very annoying is like the fixed price, like the price fluctuation is like I have pets, especially on the pets. I have pets like with 3 or 4 skills that they cost like 50,000 plat. Like who is gonna buy a blue? You know what I'm trying to say? Like when you're trying to sell these pets, like the low level pets, nobody gonna buy, and it's like super expensive. I don't know why that pricing happens.
You need
And
to
yeah, but the
call.
main issue with familiars is the design of the familiar system itself. So it makes no sense to invest in it. It's a platinum hole. You will not. The best option is to just get the pet that you want and then you keep it.
Yeah.
There's no way to like try to upgrade it or anything. Like
Yeah,
mm.
or you're gonna call Susan for your expensive pet.
Yeah, that's funny. Everyone was crying about Susan. Now Susan is gone. And everyone's like, "Oh, please bring Susan back." Because people
Ah,
got used to buy like cheap gems, and now the gems are a bit more expensive. But I feel like overall, is a better thing.
yeah, otherwise, like buying crests was nonsense with those
Yeah.
low prices, especially in some of the servers. Because why?
we
Like, you can just buy plat.
we have a question here from Faisi. He asks us if the game is about to die. But here I just have to say that I think it's natural in most type of games like this that there are players quitting from time to time. And if we play together for a long time, when they move away, it might feel that way. But there are also a lot of a stream of newer players that's coming in. So I really don't share that notion. I think it's still going strong, in my opinion, at least.
Player
Yeah,
base is definitely shrinking, like obviously, but well, it's still up and running. I think as long as the Chinese servers run, we will get updates and everything. I think.
yeah. No, definitely like any mobile game or any game, there is this term. I think it's shorn or something. I don't know like how to say it well in English. Is the cadency of the like, losing players versus the gaining players, and you keep gaining players or viewers for the streamer or something like that. So the curve usually is coming down. It just depends how fast it comes, but there are exceptions. For example, I watched like yesterday the video of Echo Gaming, and he was talking about like these, for example, Clash of Clans, that even after 10 years, like the graph is now going even up. I know it's a complete different genre, but
Yeah,
there
but
are
that's why.
exceptions.
Yeah, but that's why I think that they need to add, like we talked about already, the versatility. But that will help to keep players in the game.
Yeah,
To like, because after a year or two, it might get a little bit repetitive. So
I
and
think
you're
maybe
locked into builds
go.
and things like this. So of course, this would be a solution to that.
for
There are
an
not a single solution, but that small steps that could help to the retention rate of players, for sure.
I think for mobile players to like be successful or have the player base like Clash of Clans, the kids have to play it too. The actual player base is kind of like Diablo is niche already, and it's like hard, pretty tough pay to win game on top of it. So it
I,
might
I
be like
I will
it's
say like sorry, yeah, but
no
let
go.
me
You can go ahead.
let me just say this. Uh, because I'm the one that leveled up like to like recently, like only a few months back. So maybe I got like a more fresh perspective about what it is to be a new player for Diablo 4 right now.
Immortal
Fuck,
man,
why I
come
keep
on.
saying
Mortal.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm a wannabe, um, but the main reason is that, for example, I'm a hard grinder. Okay, that's I don't play casually. I never did any game. I rather not play than play casually. But whenever I started playing Diablo Immortal, was so many blocks. You want to keep progressing on the game, and if you see other mobile games in general, they it's like they give you everything, even their mom. Like they okay, take it this and that. So they keep you hooked for like 1 week, right? And then you're like on this treadmill, and then you're on. Now you're gonna keep logging in, right? But with the Diablo Immortal, there was like this curious thing that combat rating is such a pain in the ass. Okay, it's such a it's like it blocks every players from progressing, especially the ones that are like, I just installed the game, I am super excited, I want to play this for like 8 hours. And maybe you can 8 hours, but you cannot probably like 30 hours, because at some point you're gonna be blocked. And that was like so frustrating. And I don't know if there's like some fucked up psychological thing that if you get frustrated you are more likely to come. Maybe there is. But for me, it almost made me quit the game. And the only reason why I still play Diablo Immortal today is because I was in the middle of the PTR of Diablo 4 and the season 4. So I had no games to play, so I just decided to try Diablo Immortal, and I kind of liked it. It's a very enjoyable game, very good mobile game, and I love mobile games. But I will say like the beginning of the new player experience, it kind of sucks.
And like I was just checking the views actually to compare Blood Knight and Tempest launch and hype. So like I don't have a Tempest video that has let's say my Blood Knight top Blood Knight build video has more viewers than top Tempest video I
Yeah,
released.
that makes
And
sense.
and like my channel was way smaller on the Blood Knight times. So the hype was kind of noticeably less too with Tempest. I think I can easily say player base is definitely shrinking, and we are not getting as much new players. Even like the new class couldn't bring that many hype, but I don't think game is gonna die. The core player base,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
strong.
is kind of strong. People still leave the game every day. They come back. Those like if you get hooked at some point, you're most likely to play. It's on top of that, if you spend some money, that's another big reason for people to come back to the game or don't leave at all. I think yeah, we are seeing people like throw in their accounts for cheap prices or completely abandoning them and leaving the game, of course. But I'm still seeing day one players in battlegrounds or in the server everywhere. But the
But
player base is shrinking definitely, I
but
think.
couldn't the solution be to first of all maybe remove the combat rating from Warband, and also remove the combat rating from Heliquery, because that requires you to have played for a long time to achieve these levels.
Yeah.
So if we get rid of those, we will like shrink the gap between the highest combat rating and the lowest combat rating. And also maybe when you reach a certain paragon, like maybe when you reach level 60, I don't know, but maybe you can get like a reward where you can pick out 8 set pieces and 8 legendaries that you will
Yeah,
receive as a reward, so that you will catch up with the
on the
combat rating of
combat
the
rating.
player base. Because let's face it, the most fun you will have in Diablo Immortal is if you can play together with other players. And when you get stuck and you can't like progress to the next inferno, and feel that you can keep up at
Yeah,
least a little
it's
bit,
not fun. It's just not fun.
then it's not that fun. Because
No.
if you feel that you are like a mosquito in a wasp nest, it doesn't really, it's not that inspiring. So maybe that's something that they could do.
Yeah, the overall combat rating system was definitely the main reason that I was about to literally just stop playing Diablo, you know?
Because you
And the
get
only
stuck.
reason,
Like
yeah, you get stuck. Like I got stuck in the what Hell Tree for like a few days. It felt horrible. I
and
like it was back in the eight. You guys remember 899 Paragon level or something like that? It was horrible, man. I stayed there for a few days until and the game is so bad at giving you like the information, or I'm just like too stupid that I didn't know that I had to go and kill the boss to
And that's
unlock it
enough.
first.
If a player feels that they're stopping their progression, it's enough with a day. We will
yeah.
lose maybe 50% of the players when they reach that point. So
Yeah,
it's like a huge. They should remove these hurdles entirely.
And
Um,
it's very bad.
because the main point in Diablo is not to catch up with the combat rating. The game starts when you have catched up with the combat rating, and you can start focusing on the different types of builds. So yeah, then it needs a rework for sure.
And it's to build a better reputation too. People think they can't advance that because they are not paying. I mean, yes, you can pay and move forward, but you can't really pay for combat rating unless you like really
yep,
pay. Because resonance, I calculated it a while ago. Like at 7k resonance gives you like 2k combat rating, and 7k resonance is quite expensive. So, and
And
it,
maybe they could even add. Another thing that they could maybe introduce is that maybe there should be a perk for stronger clans to invite new members. So let's say that you have 10 spots in each clan, then that if you bring in new players into your clan, maybe you will get some perk in the clan. I don't know, something like this as well. Um, but yeah, there are probably hundreds of different solutions that could
yeah.
help fixing the problem.
No, I feel like talking about the monetization thing. I feel like maybe in the beginning of the game it made sense. You know, like the game is new. You want to get as fast as you can to the end line to maybe be stronger than everyone. And during the leveling, yeah, fuck. I'm just gonna throw here like a few $100,000 or the not 100,000, but you know what I mean. And uh and I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna level up faster. But now, game is so different. You know, like since you start the game until you are in the end game to play with your friends. You know, imagine like you have a friend that is like right now at Inferno 3.
yeah,
It'll take me so long. You know, it'll take me like probably 1 or 2 months of grinding to just not even catch up. I'm not talking about like power. I'm not talking about normal instance. I'm talking about the simplest mechanic ever on this game. It is called combat rating. Okay, the thing that it feels like shit because you know when you go into a challenge rift and then you know you just like you haven't been there in a while and then you notice, oh man, I haven't been done this in a while, so I'm going to level up, and then you keep leveling up. It feels good because you're beating the levels, and then you enter in another and it's like it just get clapped like instant kill because there's like these 90 something damage, like, do you guys agree with that? I mean, I'm okay with some kind of like harder bosses or mobs, but the whole combat rating system, especially for new players, I just feel like it's terrible. It is being harmful to the game after 2 years. Like, that's why I made a video about how to progress faster in the combat rating because, like, I remember when I was, like a few months back, it was like it kind of sucked. I just wanted to play with my friend and I couldn't. You know?
Yeah, it's like for any player, it's one of the biggest reasons to leave the game.
Yeah, it's too boring. Too boring the grind. So we have here actually a good question from Windu. There is. Do you guys think the community aspect keeps players coming back? I have been playing since day one. I have met real friends in this game, and I still play every day.
For sure, the community holds this game alive. That's quite social aspect of the game. That's the biggest reason.
And I guess there are a lot of Reddit posts when people compare Diablo 4 with Diablo Immortal. A lot of people like praise Diablo Immortal just for that aspect. So that's been a very good thing. But that's why we also need to find ways to include the newer players fast into this community so
Yeah.
that they can do content together with more experienced players. Because often, especially now, they release more and more things. So as a new player, it can be quite overwhelming because there's familiars, there's eternal fixes, there's Vanguard.
So many things.
What should I do? So imagine like if you quite
Subscribe to this.
fast are able to play with the more experienced veterans who can
Yeah.
teach you about what you should do. It will like
Yeah.
uh,
I'll tell
be
you.
so fun.
There was this guy that I forgot his name. It's been a long time. There was this Zader that I found out while I was grinding library, and this guy literally saved my life in when it came to playing this game because he was so patient with me. I can be very annoying with the questions, but the guy took the time to explain me every single thing, and if it was not for him, I would not know anything about the game. I didn't know how to unlock the Paragon power. I didn't know scraps. Like I was just a newbie, man. But this just to say that whatever you just said, the faster young players or new players play with the veterans, the better, because the game doesn't do a good job at explaining the hidden mechanics and the complexity that it runs deep. It is a easy game. If you played any other RPG game, it is not that complex, but it has its complexity for a casual mobile game, right? And that's why people like to watch the guides and people explaining like you or and Abu. So they enjoy that because they don't have the time. They have jobs. They have all these things, so they don't have time to go and read the fucking description on the menu. What does it do or not? So I mean, overall, I feel like the community. Just to answer to Edu in the question, it is so surprising how strong it is in a mobile game. Like it is crazy. Like I played Diablo 4 for like 3 seasons. I don't think I met anyone. I was playing all by myself. I was smashing, but most of the times I was just like solo play. So I feel like the systems that they create, and I hope they don't. Even though in the beginning of the episode I said I don't really care about the tower and this alliance and things, but it is a big reason why Immortal is still alive. It is the clan. The clan. It actually feels like a freaking clan. I played WoW back then. It felt like a clan. I played many other games that the clan was just for the boost. Like you didn't even speak in the chat or anything. I'm talking more specific about mobile games, right? but in Immortal is very very meaningful. It gives like a it throws me back a bit to the World of Warcraft guild kind of style, because also probably most of us were or are still Blizzard players or ex Blizzard players from WoW. So I think Blizzard does this very well and is hard carrying the game. And to be honest, that was the main reason why I started doing videos because I saw that build and I thought to myself, man, this is such a cool build. I kind of want to share it with people, you know. I, and I'm loving it, man. I'm having a lot of fun because I think the community deserves, And it's still a bit weird. I don't know how you guys do to receive whispers all the fucking time and add to friends and all these things, but it has its downsides, but overall it's a massive positive thing.
Yeah, I
So
agree. Community is the king in this game.
King 100% best feature on the game. Is not even a feature of the game. It's us. It's the people that are actually here
Yeah,
watching and caring about this fucking game. And maybe I won't say that we care more because that's not true, but definitely I hope that will be in the future a bit more close. Also, I want to touch like a bit, on the creator sides, and I want to say, and I want to take just a short moment to appreciate like every creator that has been here since the start, and Abu, Orot, like you guys. If it were not like for you guys, many of us also would not have the information, would not have the right build, will not know the right thing to play. Because again, you said, well, I'm scared to make changes on a freaking game. You know, doesn't matter if I'm pay to win or free to play. And you guys allowed us, on the starting of the game of the journey to, just understand the game better. And towards that, you play better, you do better, you feel stronger, it feels better, and that's and it feels fun. You know, so I want to appreciate you guys for that. Like literally, we are talking about that the community social aspect hard carried the game, but you guys also did.
yeah, you are
So
doing the same thing now too. So thank you too. People are learning from you as well.
yeah. So, Oratz, you want to say some last words? I don't know if you. I think we've been here
Yeah, yes.
for
I
a
just
few
want
hours,
to
but
thank everyone. I know that there maybe has been some questions that has not been answered, but we will probably do more of these sessions in the future. And if anyone, just for me personally, if anyone wants to add me on Discord, you can add me on Auroth_DI if I missed some questions here in the chat, and I can respond later there. But this has been super fun, and thank you, Indes, for putting this together, and to you, Habo. This has been a very, very, very enlightening discussion,
yeah,
and
it
I
was
hope that
exciting.
everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah, like this was really fun. It's been like I think 3 hours. I'm kind of getting numb a little bit,
Yeah,
but yeah, it was pretty cool. I think yeah, we should do these more often, maybe, and we can do some sessions like this just for questions and answers too. So since it's the end, we all got a little tired, so we are not gonna be able to go through all of the questions, but we can do specific sessions for that moving forward
yeah,
when we do it next time. And once again, I want to thank you, Indes and Aurot as well. We would love to have Crane here too, but hopefully next time. So yeah, and everyone viewing the stream, thank you guys too for coming up.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. You are the best.
It was a fun session, and
cheers.
hopefully we will meet up again. I will probably here tomorrow, but these two might not come.
We'll
Well,
maybe face each other in battlegrounds. Who knows?
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
we will clap your ass.
Okay. See you guys. Thanks for today.
Thank you
Bye
all.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Peace.